idiot.
It's just you.
Our lineup of, we're very lucky. And come on.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Service, family owned and operated since 1980. Tallman's is proud to provide trusted, professional auto care to our community. From brake repairs and New York State inspections to check engine light diagnostic to four-wheel alignments, Tallman's Tire and Auto Service accept all aftermarket warranties, and they specialize in fleet vehicles, accepting all fleet maintenance programs. When your vehicle needs attention, you can count on them to get you back on the road quickly and safely. Save time and money. Schedule your appointment today at tallmanstire.com.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
Meet Anthony Constantino, running to represent us in Congress.
First off, you, I see through your game.
Wannabe rapper, wannabe Republican. But he can't rap his way out of reality. He's a lifelong Democrat who helped fund Trump's impeachment. After the George Floyd riots, he called our cops racist and sold Kill the Police stickers. He claims he's America first, but he shipped jobs overseas, even replaced workers with robots. Anthony Constantino, worse than a wannabe. He's a fraud.
And I know just how this ends.
The real conservative in the race? Robert Smullen, a Marine colonel. He fought for our country. Smullen was appointed by President Trump and will fight for the America First agenda. He's the Republican conservative and law enforcement endorsed candidate. On June 23rd, vote Robert Smullen for Congress. Proven patriot, ready to serve.
I'm Robert Smullen, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Robert Smullen for Congress.
At 200,000 members strong, Americu Credit Union wants to create a meaningful connection that makes you feel like you belong. Open an account today at Americu.org.
Mattress Express, upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer, is giving away prepaid Visa cards up to $1,000 on select king and queen sets, and we beat any locally advertised price on a mattress we carry. Go to mattressexpressny.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, good morning. I got to say that I could not go to sleep last night after that game. And for those who stayed up to watch the New York Knicks come back in an unprecedented fashion.
Well, this fella didn't.
Once the game was over, I just could not fall asleep. I struggled trying to fall asleep. It was one of the most exciting games I've ever seen in my life, and the most exciting comeback I think I've ever seen. Biggest comeback in an NBA final in history. The Knicks were down 29 points, and they came back to win the game on a missed three-point shot that was tipped in, and then with 7 seconds left, they were able to defend, and the Knicks go up 3-1. Wow.
Well, I'm not. Everybody knows.
You saw replays this morning.
Yes,
right?
Everybody knows that I'm not a big NBA fan.
Nor am I. I think that's the first NBA game in its entirety that I watched.
I watched the first quarter, and I said, this is over. It's going to be a long night. Good night. And then I wake up this morning and I see the largest comeback in NBA history. The Knicks come back from 29 down.
So I have a friend who's you have said that one person who's luckier than everybody else.
Yeah, I have a friend and we know who he is.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, we have him on the radio.
Yes.
So the Knicks are down by 29 points, and he sent me his betting slip this morning, as if to, I don't know, rub it in. I just don't know.
Was it a parlay that he did?
No. It's what Scott and Kirkville always talks about with live betting.
Yeah.
So you're down. The Knicks are down by 29 points. And it's just before the end of the half here, and he puts up a Let's see.
And Scott's,
I've lost it.
I've seen Scott do in-game betting before when I've hung out with him numerous times.
So this is how it was done. And believe me, 9 times out of 10, you'd probably lose this. I certainly wouldn't.
I have.
I wouldn't be able to do it. Okay, so he puts down a $200 bet.
Oh my God!
Let's see, where is it? Puts a $200 bet down on the money line. The Knicks were plus 800, and then it looks like he had some sort of a promo. Which went put the line at plus 990. So that would have paid out like $2,700 had the Knicks won. Okay, so mark that one. Then the line goes to 1,500, plus 1,500 at halftime. He put down $100. Then the line went up to 17 plus 1705. He put down another $150, and then the half begins, and the Knicks look a little sloppy.
Yeah,
and the line actually they had scored. Must be. I don't know exactly what happened.
It's
here.
about the 9-minute mark in third.
Well, just as this bet was put in at 8:40 p.m. The line was at plus 1,550, plus 1,550, and he added 250. So he is in. Oh, wait a minute, and he did another one at $200 at plus. This was when the Knicks started to fall in the second half. The line went up to 2,200, plus 2,200. So he put another $200 down. So I'm trying to see what he did here. So 250, 150, 250. So that's 500, 750. So it looks like he did like $1,000. Put $1,000 down all at the half and just at the start of the second half when the Knicks looked like they were going to come out sloppy. Now the Knicks have brought it back and it's close. And now I begin getting text messages from him, and he begins to panic. And I don't know if you've ever done this before on like any of these betting services, but they'll offer you a cash out where you can get out of it. And he was offered $600. And he takes it $667.40 for the one that would have paid $2,700. He cashes out and gets that. Then he begins to panic, and it looks like the Knicks are going to lose. So he begins to try to cash out on all of them because each one was offering about $1,400, Davey, just for saying, you know what, I quit, I'm out. So he would have walked away with probably about $3,000. He said this morning, I was trying to cash out. I got one cash out, and my phone went dead.
Oh, no.
And he said I was unable to cash out on the rest of them. He said when I got my phone back up and running, the cash out option was gone.
Oh, no.
And he won $14,400.
Holy
last night.
Wow, congratulations.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Wow.
That is with $1,000, so he won about just over 13,000.
Congratulations to your friend.
Some people just are able to. Honestly, it makes me sick. Okay, I'm just going to tell you. No, but you're right, Matt. Congratulations. President Trump signs the Secure America Act, a budget package that fully funds border security and immigration enforcement operations, all of that. We'll get an update. First, though, mayhem in New York City. What a win, Tanya Powers, for the New York Knicks.
Listen, I wore my special orange Converse last night, and I'm not going to say that's why they won.
Yeah, it is. But,
yeah, you know,
you can't take them off now.
No, you're right. I can't. I've got to wear them the rest of the series.
By the way, 29-point comeback, the greatest comeback in NBA Finals history. So that's pretty darn huge. President had an interesting day. Of course, at one point, talking about how he likes inflation, and of course Democrats ran all over the place with that. But then signing this bill, what is all of this? What does this package do?
Yeah, that immigration comment definitely got a lot of attention.
Yeah.
I would love to be in the planning strategy meetings for Republicans running in the midterms right now, because that is definitely something that's probably going to get talked about a lot. The thing that the president signed yesterday was that $70 billion funding package that will fund ICE and CBP through the end of his term. The end of his administration. So this was the thing that had been held up for months. The Democrats had refused, to fund them without reforms. They were pushing for, more reforms, like you had to have a judicial warrant, and you had to, not wear a mask, and you had to be able to identify who the person was, conducting the enforcement action or whatever. This passed along party lines, which is probably not a huge surprise. The House approved it on a 214 to 212 vote after the Senate had passed it during that marathon vote session last Friday, I think, and it both of them along party lines. So.
All right. Well, this is obviously a huge topic, and it's the one thing that you think about where I think Republicans continue to warn President Trump how the importance of having this majority, and at least having enough of a majority where if the president vetoed something, they would struggle to override any veto. And that's why the midterms are so important, because not only will he be a lame duck in the second 2 years after November, but if Democrats get control, it could be somewhat painful.
Yeah, there was also that kind of the hurdle of the anti-weaponization fund that he had rolled out and announced, and that was one of the things that also kind of I think got in the way of getting some of the legislation passed, any sooner, because that was giving both Democrats and Republicans, some Republicans, a problem. It's finally been done. It's finally been signed.
Okay, there you go, Tanya. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. And go Knicks.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. Speaking of go Knicks, I usually end something with either go Bills or go Mets. The Mets dropping another, 8 runs, scoring 2 runs. Was it 8-2 the final, something like that?
I believe it was.
Not good at all. How about the fate of my friend's phone going dead and not being able to cash out? So the cash out is basically Vegas saying, okay, we think there's a better chance that you're going to win, but we're going to bank on the fact that if you get out right now, you're going to make a couple $1,000, $3,000-$4,000 out of this.
Insane.
And he was cashing out, and his phone went dead.
Listen,
unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't have any words to describe that game last night. Absolutely unbelievable. They have to close out the series now.
I do
have win the championship after winning that game last night.
It would be. I do have one of the comments on YouTube this morning saying you got to wonder about professional sports. I don't know. I just think this was you know what? I got to tell you, you had the feeling that the Spurs were going to go cold because they were very hot and living off the 3-point shot. And you had a feeling they were going to go cold. But you're down. They have a 29-point advantage
in the third quarter.
How do you go? And that is where there was one point where he got plus 2,200. And there's a point where you think it's just there's no way they can make this up.
Incredible. Without a doubt, the biggest comeback in NBA Finals history. I still can't believe it. You know, there was a breakaway. There was a point with like a minute left where the Knicks got a turnover and had a breakaway, uncontested, and missed a layup.
Shot.
Oh. And I said, "Oh no, they're gonna
blow it."
How is that how we're gonna lose the game?
I know.
I just cannot believe last night. That was unbelievable. I know I sound like a broken record. It's just, and I would hate to be right now. With all due respect, I'm not a Spurs fan. I would hate to be a Spurs fan today.
Yeah, you're because think about it. As a Knicks fan, you were looking at it from this perspective. Can you believe they came back with down 29 points, but then beyond that 3-point shot from the top of the key, it misses, it bounces. And whoever that was who came in, I'm not a fan, so I can't tell you who, what, or anything. Whoever that was tips it in for the Knicks to take a 1-point lead with 1.7 seconds left. And the Spurs basically fumble the inbound pass, and the Knicks win.
So the player who tipped
that could
it
have just as easily, though, ended with the Spurs nailing one final 3-point shot and winning the game.
OG Anunoby is the player, and I will never forget when the Knicks traded for him. I jokingly said to two friends of mine, "Oh my God, the Knicks just got Obi-Wan Kenobi," and I cannot believe how that game ended. A great tip to put the Knicks ahead. The referees let them play. It was very physical in the second half. They were really letting them play, letting them go at it. It's just unbelievable.
I want to bring in Cully, who's made it in here this morning.
Wow, that's something Cully has never heard in his life. Bill Keeler saying, "I want to bring in Cully now for his perspective."
Normally, I'm like, all right, I'll turn your mic on. But being a sports guy, did you watch last night?
Yes, I did. But the Knicks have been living on the edge the entire playoff series. They always get down.
And think of the number of playoff games they've come back from way behind.
That's how they are.
But 29 points? Holy crap.
They were down 21 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
It's their year, man.
Well, it feels it. That is absolutely correct. So we'll talk more about that this morning in studio. Samantha Colosimo Testa is in discussing the latest meeting, which was last night, and they're talking about overriding the mayor's veto, and I believe that was successful last night by the Democrats, involving the pride flag over City Hall. This morning, also, we have Katrina Hurricane Scalzo on from Utica. She's a teacher in Utica, and she's going to put the gloves on tomorrow night at the Turning Stone Resort and Casino for fight night, and pretty excited about that. It'll be a great night. Village elections are coming up now, and we're going to try to get each of the mayoral candidates on from Herkimer. And Herkimer Police Chief Mike Jory is the Republican candidate. The election is Tuesday, and we'll have him in. We'll speak with Joe Bitar, who's running for the 119th Assembly District in the Democratic primary. That seat currently held by Marianne Buttonshaw. Sheriff Rob Mashel is on. Big event yesterday they talked about, along with Griffo and others, the DA and others, on domestic violence. Additionally, I thought this was quite interesting. Otsego County, a statement from Sheriff Richard Devlin yesterday. Recent events involving members of the Otsego County Sheriff's Office are deeply disturbing to me, both personally and professionally. I don't know what more has happened. I know there was the one police officer, or one deputy, who was found with cocaine, allegedly.
Right.
And but there must be more. So this is what has happened. No one is above the law, he says. Any employee who violates the public trust or fails to uphold the standards expected of this office must and will be held accountable. And he goes on, but then he said, as disappointing as this is, he has called, I have asked Oneida County Sheriff Rob Mashel to begin an independent investigation and review to ensure complete transparency and accountability moving forward. So Sheriff Mashel is going to be investigating. I do think that's probably a really good idea to take it out of everybody's hands and have an independent investigation. and that investigation will be done by Sheriff Mashel. So we'll speak with him about that as well later on this morning. John Decker was in the Oval Office yesterday when all this was going down. We'll talk to John a little later on. And go ahead.
Real quick, I got a message toward the end of the show yesterday, and I did not get a chance to share it. This is from Chuck Lester. Did I share this?
And the Village of Ilion elections with a big. You did not share this. Have gotten quite interesting because the former mayor is now going to be running a write-in campaign there.
So Chuck Lester, who called into the program with Mayor Stevens,
who has made up, if you will, with Mayor Stevens. At one point, they were very much at odds.
He says, I hear that Lamica is running a write-in for mayor. Well, there's only one person running for trustee, so I might as well run a write-in candidate for trustee as well. If you can fit me in at some point, that would be great.
All right, so he's back in.
He's in the race again.
Oh, my Lord Almighty. And you know what? In a town the size of Ilion, a write-in candidate could make a difference there. Interesting.
I agree.
Manaski has, let's do a quick update in weather, at least here right now, and then there's more to talk about. A lot more to get into. A ton of comments already this morning. Mike is one. I'll squeeze in Mike before we get to...
Any about me or
nothing about you?
Oh, okay.
And there goes your mic. Boom. Trump's ability to handle being a lame duck is very, very weak, and we'll talk about that as we get a little bit closer. Am I okay for news here, Davey? Oh, okay, but I was going to do the news, but I'll just do the weather. That's okay.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies here today, hot and humid with scattered showers and storms possible. Any that we do see could be strong to severe. Temperatures approaching 90 this afternoon, 70 tonight. Hot and humid Friday with scattered showers and storms. Again, some could be strong to severe. Highs tomorrow, low 90s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone from the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, right now we are currently a bit on the muggy side, sunny, and 68 degrees. Let's do an update here with Manaski.
Yeah, good morning, Bill. It was quite muggy yesterday, especially mid-afternoon yesterday. Well, thousands of people are without power in the Midwest and Great Lakes as storms hit that region. This as millions across the Midwest and Northeast are now faced with a severe weather threat. Today, the threat shifts and extends into the Ohio Valley again and the Northeast. The U.S. launching another round of strikes on Iran. Several attacks were reported across a number of Iranian cities into Thursday morning. Iran has fired back with attacks on Bahrain, Kuwait, and Jordan. Bill, the World Cup kicks off today. The global soccer tournament is taking place in North America for the first time since 1994. The opening game is in Mexico City, with Mexico taking on South Africa before the U.S. team kicks off on Friday for their opener against Paraguay in Los Angeles. Thousands without power. More police officers are in the streets in Belfast in Northern Ireland after a second night of protests over a knife attack involving a Sudanese refugee. While the family of the stabbing victim appealed for calm, anti-immigration protesters lit cars and homes on fire, attacking officers with bottles and rocks. And the Stanley Cup Final continues tonight in North Carolina. Excuse me, the Hurricanes are hosting the Golden Knights for Game 5. The Canes coming off a victory that has turned the series into a best-of-3. They are tied at 2 apiece. Excuse me.
So I'll come in and we'll take a quick break. I want to come back and speak about this college football issue. The quarterback who was caught gambling, and basically the NCAA has said, "You're done. You're banned." And he has fought that, claiming that his gambling addiction is a disease, and therefore it should be treated medicinally or medically. And there was a ruling on this, and I think it's quite shocking. We're going to talk about it coming up, among other things, here this morning. Stand by. It's 6:47. By the way, that story on the Catskill Game Farm, we have a story up. on our website at WIBX950.com. You should check it out. It's an old photograph, postcard that I own of the Catskill Game Farm, which, by the way, was open until 2006.
No kidding.
Before it finally closed. Yeah. All right, stand by. We'll come right back here.
When your doctor recommends a breast biopsy, what you want most is answers, and you don't want to wait for them. At Community Memorial, we offer some of the shortest wait times in the area for breast biopsy procedures because faster access brings peace of mind. Your care is led by board-certified surgeon Dr. Niels Thomas McBride, working alongside our experienced radiology team, using advanced imaging technology for greater precision and clearer results. We offer multiple biopsy options, including mammogram-guided and ultrasound-guided procedures, so your care is personalized for you. And because your imaging, biopsy, and follow-up care all happen within one connected system, information moves quickly, and you spend less time waiting and worrying. Better access, better technology, better coordination and communication. That's how breast care should be done. Learn more at communitymemorial.org and get better at CMH in Hamilton.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-923-6829 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-923-6829. That's 800-923-6829. What do you have to lose? Call 800-923-6829. Again, 800-923-6829.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton. If you have substantial assets, a delay in planning can cost you. It takes time to reduce taxes and protect assets. Planning ahead can save money and ease the stress on your family. We employ multiple strategies to protect what you have built. Call us for a free analysis of your tax and asset protection issues, because the smartest plan is made early.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
I'm Mike Gentile, and I'm running for Assembly to bring common sense leadership back to Albany. I've spent my whole life in this community, and one thing is clear. People want leaders who show up, who listen, and deliver real results. Families across the 119th District are dealing with rising costs, higher utility bills, and real concerns about the future. They deserve someone who understands what they're going through and will fight for them every single day. Leadership that shows up, listens, and delivers. Vote for Mike Gentile for Assembly. Paid for by Gentile for Assembly.
Hi, Billy Mays here with the brand new Keeler Kill Switch. When that morning show starts yapping about something you can't stand, don't reach for the dial. Just press this big red button and BAM!
This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Hi, good morning, and it's Thursday morning, and more heat. Yesterday was just, I don't mean to complain, but yesterday was oppressive, and just the humidity. It was just not fun to necessarily be outside. Were you umping at all yesterday?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. I was happy that I wasn't. It was very muggy. It was just by chance I happened to put in for a couple of nights off for something I had to take care of.
There you go. Listen, if you have a graduation party, how about considering having it catered with some really great food from It's a Utica Thing Kitchen and Bar.
Yeah. Make sure you get the greens.
You can see their catering menu online at itsautica.com for the best in Italian foods, pastas, salads, chicken riggies, greens, tomato pie, and more.
I'm going there this weekend.
Right, because you're going to a party and you're taking a tomato pie.
Right.
To have your graduation party catered by It's a Utica Thing Kitchen and Bar, just call them and see what they can do for you. They'll set up, they'll do all the work, or you can pick up, however you want to do it. 315-738-8946. All right, Cully, I do want to talk about this athlete who has apparently a gambling addiction. And now what has happened? After the NCAA said gone, a court has stepped in?
Yeah, so quarterback Brendan Sorsby from Texas Tech, he was investigated by the NCAA for gambling.
He gambled on his own team.
He did, but he was a redshirt freshman. He wasn't playing.
Okay.
But this kid
still
was gambling when he was a senior in high school.
Mm-hmm.
He gambled over $90,000 in a 5-year period. And he was betting on Russian soccer, Turkish tennis, Romanian.
I knew somebody that it was so bad he was betting on lotto, not playing the lotto, betting on if more even numbers would come up than on. I don't know how they do it, but there's a way that you can in Vegas you can bet on a state's lotto numbers, and it was everything.
Yes,
like he would have like 50 bets a night.
Yeah.
But what? So the court is saying what? He deserves a chance. He should go through therapy, and then he should be able to play.
No, they're basically saying that he's appealing the NCAA's decision.
Okay.
So while that goes on, now we know the NCAA operates like a snail's
While that goes on, he could play.
They're giving him,
and then his eligibility will be over anyway.
He only has 1 year. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he'll go off and play in the NFL.
They are giving him a 2-game suspension, but yes, otherwise that.
Well, you know what we ought to do is all of his losses. Maybe we should just give them back to him.
I agree.
Yeah.
I had this argument with my father on the way over.
I am being sarcastic. I'm with your father on this.
Well, because he was talking about Pete Rose, and he was saying Pete Rose, he got the book thrown at him.
Yeah.
But Pete did not admit to it.
That is true, and he fought it all the way.
And gambling was illegal at the time.
But what he did was illegal.
Yes, what he did was illegal.
I'm talking about this kid.
Yes, but
so I'm being facetious when I say maybe we ought to give him all his losses back. At what point do you need to be responsible, whether you have a disease or not? You have to be responsible and know that wrong is still wrong.
When you're an addict, it doesn't matter. There is no wrong.
I know you're really, that's personal for you. I understand.
No, but I'm saying that there's people that have been caught gambling. They gambled to win money, and those people lost permanent eligibility. This kid was not doing it.
He's really gambling to win money, though. Even if he has a problem, he's gambling to win money. Come on.
I understand what Cully's saying, where he says where it doesn't matter to that person in that moment. They're feeding the addiction, and it doesn't matter. But that doesn't. I don't think that means that.
Doesn't excuse it.
Right. And I there has to be a serious consequence for that. I mean, I don't know if.
So what really is being done is there's a wink going on here. And it's like, all right, we're not going to let this go. But he does have this period of time where, as we investigate this appeal, well, he'll be able to play.
Yes.
I mean, it's.
But he was diagnosed as an addict. That's the difference.
So you have people who are diagnosed and they take steroids and they're addicted to, do you see some of these steroids people? They're just addicted, or they're addicted to cocaine, so they're on steroids. And they all have to suffer the consequences.
Correct, but they don't get a clinical diagnosis.
I mean, you suffered the consequences.
Absolutely.
Your addiction.
I'm trying to explain to you, you're saying accountability right from wrong.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, I did say that. But what I mean by that is we could apply what you're saying to everything in the world and no one would be punished. No one would be held accountable.
Yeah.
He was so addicted to this woman. He had no choice but to kill her. He had no choice but to stalk her. And I mean,
those aren't clinical diagnoses.
Well, it is a clinical thing. I mean, you
could go there with drugs or alcohol.
And you could even go there with pedophilia. It's like you don't wake up one day and say, you know what I'd like to try is pedophilia.
I agree.
They're sick.
Yes.
There's a sickness there.
Yes.
So, but we've always looked at it this way, that there's a difference. Are you competent to stand trial? That seems to be the line.
Knowing right from wrong.
I'm not an attorney.
Correct.
I believe, though, that
I am. I got my degree on Twitter.
Well, you grew up with an attorney, so. But I think we'll talk more about it.
It's knowing right from wrong.
Yeah. Well, on the other side, hold on.
Little Falls Lumber has everything you need for home improvement season. They're fully stocked with secondary grade metal in all colors. Available in 12-foot lengths and affordable solutions for sheds, garages, and roof repairs. Tired of digging through warped boards at the big box stores? At Little Falls Lumber, you'll find only premium grade lumber, hand-selected for quality. They also carry roofing, siding, windows, doors, and much more. Visit Little Falls Lumber in Little Falls in Syracuse. Call 315-823-2470 or go to littlefallslumber.com.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Service, family owned and operated since 1980. Tallman's is proud to provide trusted professional auto care to our community. From brake repairs and New York State inspections to check engine light diagnostic to four-wheel alignments, Tallman's Tire and Auto Service accept all aftermarket warranties, and they specialize in fleet vehicles, accepting all fleet maintenance programs. When your vehicle needs attention, you can count on them to get you back on the road quickly and safely. Save time and money. Schedule your appointment today at tallmanstire.com.
Blues fans, get ready to hit the road. The New York State Blues Fest is back this June, bringing the soul, grit, and groove to the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse. Featuring Grammy-winning powerhouse Gary Clark Jr., plus a full lineup of world-class blues, rock, and roots artists. It's free, outdoors, and one of the biggest blues festivals in the Northeast. Make it a weekend. RV spots are still available. The New York State Blues Fest. Learn more at nysbluesfest.com.
Is your business the best at what you do? Then you should be a Central New York's Industry Ace. Our Industry Aces are made up of the best businesses in the region, and will help you tell your story to thousands of consumers in the Mohawk Valley. With a combination of on-air and online testimonial commercials, along with targeted social media ads that are guaranteed to reach the consumers you want to be talking to. And best of all,
WIBX Utica Road, W295 From the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
We hit them very hard. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump told Fox during a second night of attacks in Iran, calling it violent and vicious as he insists Iran keeps tapping us along on a potential deal.
CENTCOM says Iranian military surveillance capabilities, along with air defense systems and communication sites, were hit.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv.
Now, in response, the Iranians launched ballistic missiles and drones at Gulf countries, including Bahrain and Kuwait. The Jordanian army says they dealt with at least 20 Iranian ballistic missiles in the skies of their country. Today, the Iranian Foreign Ministry says the strikes overnight rendered the ceasefire practically meaningless.
As Iran keeps insisting it's blocking shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, President Trump says the U.S. in a secret mission got more than 200 ships through, carrying 100 million barrels of oil. Oil prices have been down slightly this morning, but the spike up for oil and gas in this conflict drove inflation in May to the biggest rise in 3 years.
But President Trump says he's not concerned.
You know what I really love? I love the inflation. You know why?
The president says that's because he predicts prices will plummet once military action is over in Iran.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern of the White House. Carmelo Anthony's lawyers have filed an appeal to Tuesday's murder conviction in Texas and a 35-year prison sentence for stabbing a 17-year-old in a confrontation last year. And related to that, Fox's Chris Foster reports a right-wing influencer has been arrested.
Jake Lang's charged with making terroristic threats. He led protests outside the courthouse in Frisco, Texas, saying Carmelo Anthony should be hanging from a tree, allegedly threatening to kill Anthony himself if he wasn't convicted of murdering Austin Metcalf at a track meet last year. Anthony was convicted. He's black, Metcalf was white, so's Jake Lang.
A comeback like no other in NBA Finals history.
Brunson gets it, fires up a three. Got no good, the tip, it's gone! It's gone!
OG Anunoby's game winner for the Knicks came with a second left to complete a 29-point second-half comeback, beating the Spurs 107-106 on ABC. America's listening to Fox News.
Born on America's darkest day, 9/11/01, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been helping American heroes ever since. Heroes like FDNY Lieutenant Edward J. McDonough Jr. McDonough served at Ground Zero. He later lost his life to a related cancer. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation was able to honor his sacrifice by paying off the family's mortgage. Donate $11 a month, and you can amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Just go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Shh, here he comes. Surprise!
guys! The people above your catering business are doing major construction, and the drilling is only during business hours! It's so loud!
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting personalized discounts on a commercial auto quote with Progressive.
Also, that isn't powdered sugar on the floor, it's plaster from your ceiling!
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
President Trump wants Republicans in Congress to take up another bill using the reconciliation process Democrats cannot block to approve $350 billion for the U.S. military. And he wrote on Truth Social last night it should include the Save America Act that would require voters show proof of citizenship and a photo ID and put big restrictions on mail-in ballots. It would also ban transgender athletes in women's sports and transgender surgeries for children. He posted that hours after signing a reconciliation bill funding immigration enforcement and Border Patrol into 2029.
Now we won't have the Democrats threatening to shut down Immigration Custom Enforcement, which is ICE, or shutting down our Custom and Border Protection, which is, protects our borders.
Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen. Democrats who were unable to block the funding call ICE out of control. Also in Congress, they keep investigating the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking investigation, and one of the world's richest men talked to lawmakers in private. Microsoft founder Bill Gates.
House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer requested Bill Gates testify behind closed doors after his name appeared in documents connected to Jeffrey Epstein. But in a statement given to the media, Gates said he should never have met with Epstein in the first place. Gates admitted to having met with him after Epstein had first been convicted of sex crimes. What's next? Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia says the committee wants to hear from the acting attorney general.
So we are glad that Chairman Comer has finally agreed to bring in Mr. Blanche for what we believe needs to be an under oath deposition.
Comer also wants to hear from Epstein's attorney, Alan Dershowitz. Jill Nato, Fox News.
We will get another inflation update this morning. This one at the wholesale level. The day after the rise in consumer prices led to a big stock market sell-off, but stock futures are rising this morning. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
We have partly cloudy skies already at 70 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM News Time. 7:05. This news update brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. Oneida County Sheriff Rob Mashel was joined Wednesday by several local elected officials, including the leadership of area law enforcement agencies, calling on Governor Kathy Hochul to sign legislation recently passed by the Assembly and Senate. It would require a lethality assessment be done by law enforcement in all domestic violence cases. The newly adopted lethality assessment would be incorporated into the standardized domestic incident report, which is currently used by law enforcement throughout New York State. The amendment will greatly help officers identify victims who are at the greatest risk of serious injury or death and connect them with domestic violence services before a tragedy occurs. The group saying they strongly urge Governor Hochul to sign the critical bill, adding that it will save lives. Mashel was joined by the police chiefs in both Utica and Rome, State Senator Joe Griffo, Assemblywoman Marianne Buttonshaw, Oneida County DA Todd Carville, and Herkimer County Sheriff Scott Scherer. Utica police dispatched to 1204 Gray Avenue, the Michael Walsh Apartments, regarding several juveniles who had recently entered the building, discharging a fire extinguisher into a vacant apartment, as well as in the hallway. A result of the investigation found damage. Cleaning was incurred to the building. It was further learned that the group of juveniles have been involved in multiple incidents at the complex and have no legal right to be there, as none of them live in any of the apartments. Utica police charging 3 teens with burglary in the 3rd degree and criminal tampering in the 3rd degree. Their names not being released because of their ages. National Grid is making a promise to its customers during periods of high temperatures. The utility company says it'll pause service disconnections for non-payment on any day that the heat index is forecast to be 90 degrees or higher. Disconnection only happens when National Grid has tried to help customers struggling to pay an overdue balance. Disconnections will also be put on hold in real time if temperatures are warmer than previously forecasted. And the Utica Zoo introducing its newest attraction with the opening of the Bull Reef exhibit. It's located in the former Wildlife Hall Auditorium. It was funded by the Bruce and Francis Bull Family Fund at the Community Foundation. The indoor exhibit features 2,000 gallons of saltwater coral and fish. It's now the second largest coral reef on the East Coast and will be open year-round. WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM news time is 7:08. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies here today. Hot and humid with scattered showers and storms possible. Any that we do see could be strong to severe. Temperatures approaching 90 this afternoon, 70 tonight. Hot and humid Friday with scattered showers and storms. Again, some could be strong to severe. Highs tomorrow, low 90s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone from the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, partly cloudy, 70 degrees at 7:09.
It is interesting, and I feel like I'm being unprofessional for mentioning this, but I feel like I'm in a sporting mood. KTV's reporting we're only going to hit about 82 today. Our meteorologist is saying high close to 90. Let's remember this tomorrow, see who was right.
Okay.
All right. Just a little...
Could be some severe storms as well.
Which could lower the temperature. I mean, we went from almost 90 yesterday to like 72
right
when the storms came through. What a night last night. Here's Manaski with sports.
Oh, what a night. Trailing by 29 points in the third quarter. Somehow the Knicks rallied from behind to take game 3.
Nobody guarding the inbound pass. Brunson gets it, fires up a three. Shot no good. The tip, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. With 1.2 remaining. Knicks take the lead. And it's 107-106. Bedlam here at the Garden. They can't believe it. That's it. It's over. The greatest comeback in NBA playoff history. The Knicks pull off the miracle comeback and lead it 3-1. Now 1 win away from a title.
I got to tell you, the call gives me chills. Wow, what a game.
You could hear it in his voice. Nobody thought that they were going to come back and win that game. Again, the greatest NBA Finals comeback ever. The Knicks up 3-1. Let's see. What is
it was
game
that
5?
moment where my friend Matt was like, okay, I am, they're still offering a cash out bet. I'm going to walk away winning like $2,800. And his phone went dead. And as a result, he won $14,000.
Incredible. Game 5 is Saturday in San Antonio. Go Knicks. The Chiefs rewarding franchise quarterback Patrick Mahomes with the richest deal in NFL history. ESPN says the Chiefs adding 2 years to Mahomes' contract in a reworked deal that runs through 2033 has a value of $504.75 million. Incredible. The Yankees complete a sweep of the Guardians. The final 8-4. Jazz Chisholm led the way, going 1 for 4 with 3 RBI. The Yankees have won 4 straight. They visit the Blue Jays for a 3-game series starting tomorrow. Mets lose to the Cardinals again, 9-2 the final. Austin Warren suffered the loss. The Mets hope to salvage the series finale coming up later today. And the Stanley Cup final, let's see here. I've lost track of when they play again. I think they play again tonight. Yes.
Yeah.
The Hurricanes hosting the Golden Knights for Game 5. That series knotted at 2 games apiece.
Can I just, as long as we're keeping track of balls and strikes here on the weather, I do want to go back to Monday when Mike had said, I don't think they're going to allow a watch party outside Madison Square Garden because of the violence. And it was yesterday afternoon, New York City police announced they were setting up another 10-block
radius
of security, and there was no watch party. He said he would admit if he was wrong, and it turns out he was right.
He was. I saw a video.
Just stupid people. Like, it's stupid people, and it's not exclusive to Atlanta or to L.A. or to Philadelphia. It isn't. There are stupid people everywhere who, for some reason, want to come out and just cause mayhem, and they'll use any excuse to do it.
I saw a video, It was kind of disturbing. Well, it was pretty disturbing. Several Knicks fans beating up a
You
Spurs
see
fan.
that? That was terrible.
I think
they ripped his jersey off him, and
the only beef was that he was wearing a different colored
Yeah.
jersey. His face was all bloodied.
Yeah.
And you could hear him screaming, take it off, take it off. So he takes the jersey off, and they take that away from him, and he kind of staggers away. Yeah, that stuff is really ugly. That's
stupid, and it just ruins everything.
A notorious and edgy sports commentator, Chris Carton, I saw a video of him reacting to some of the chaos, and he's known to be an edgy, push the envelope kind of guy, and he's like, it's ridiculous and it's an embarrassment for New York City.
Dolan, the owner of the Knicks, says the mayor is not a Knicks fan because he wouldn't allow the watch party. I think that's unfair because there was no watch party on Monday because of security. I just find that it's stuff like that. It's videos like that these morons can't handle. They got to ruin it for everybody, and that's a shame.
Sue in Utica says, hoping someone tells Trump his gal Taylor Swift was courtside last night, bringing the Knicks luck, not bad juju.
Yeah, I mean, she was dancing, she was hugging, she was. These games in New York have just been unbelievable when it comes to New York and its celebrity status. I think everybody's left L.A. and they're all in New York now.
I don't think I'll ever forget the pandemonium last night. And, there was a lot of shots of celebrities sitting courtside, jumping up and down and really going nuts.
Looking at them in
as the comeback was going on.
Looking at them in a real human, like, oh, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing the same thing they're doing. It's quite... These are people who are normally always on guard because the camera's on, and they're going nuts. Ben Stiller and then there was it was Ben Stiller and his wife. This was the woman, if you remember, she was in the Brady Bunch movie. She's the one that when my daughter was going on a tour of college, we were on the tour with her and her daughter, and we didn't figure it out till the end. And I'm watching my wife's reaction, like, "What are you doing? Why are you acting so weird?" And she's trying to whisper to me without what's her name, Davey? Do you know her name?
No. Who?
It's Ben Stiller's
No,
wife.
I don't know. I just wanted to
Anyway.
make a point last night.
Anyway, she's, I'm like, I don't know what you're saying to me. And she's trying to say it without,
So
Christine Taylor?
Christine Taylor, yeah.
Okay.
And then she and her daughter get off, Ben Stiller's daughter, they get off the elevator. And the tour guide is like, oh, my God, I know exactly what you're saying. And he knew. I had no clue. And she's dressed down kind of like she was last night in real. They're in real life scenarios.
So real quick, I was waiting for something to print up this morning. I got on
Yeah,
my website that I check, and I saw a clip when Mike Brown doing a post-game conference about the victory, and he made reference to Fat Joe, who was at the game. And he had all the bling on, and he said, "Oh, I just wanted to say, Fat Joe, I couldn't see during one timeout, the glare of his jewelry from the lights was reflecting." And then
funny.
he kind of was just joking with him.
I don't want to be stupid, but who's Fat Joe? I don't know.
He's
if
a
Fat Joe-
rapper.
Oh, he's a rapper.
A famous New York City rapper.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, boy. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I wonder what Spike Lee was doing. Spike Lee was going nuts.
Spike Lee was there. And, yeah. Just crazy. What a comeback. A moment. This was a moment. Even though it wasn't the championship game, this was a moment that will always be remembered in sports history.
Mike Breen does some of the Knicks play-by-play as like the home broadcaster, like for MSG and stuff like that. But he's such a good broadcaster. He does a lot of the national broadcasts as well. You could literally hear in his voice, again, going from down 29 to someone hits a three.
Yeah.
Now they're down 11.
Yeah.
Now they're down 5. Like, it was just unbelievable.
They held them to 30 points.
If you
the entire
will,
second half.
if you will humor me, let's play it again. Here's audio.
The inbound pass. Brunson gets it, fires up a three. Shot no good. The tip, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone with 1.2 remaining.
That moment right there was, you saw the ball hit the rim and bounce back, and you're like, okay, there's a second, almost 2 seconds left. This game is over. The Knicks just blew it. And it gets tipped in. and they take the lead. Wow.
The Josh Hart stealing breakaway. It's just like,
This is the dunk that wasn't a dunk that didn't go
yes.
in. Yeah.
When they had a chance to take the lead for the first time in the game, and he missed it.
And I think there's your moment. There's your moment where my buddy is like, okay, I got to cash out.
This is the Knicks. Let's not forget it's the Knicks.
That's right. Listen,
Get out of
my
there.
investment, he put in $1,000, and if he could walk away with $2,000, $3,000, let's call it a night, right?
Sure.
And his phone goes dead. Crazy. All right, I got a break. We have a lot to get to. Samantha Colosimo Testa coming up in a second. We're going to speak with Katrina Hurricane Scalzo, fighting tomorrow night at the Turning Stone Resort and Casino, part of Fight Night, which is all part of the Boxing Hall of Fame induction weekend. Pretty cool. Quick break. Let me tell you about Father's Day and a special going on right now at New York Sash. Dads that are NBA fans of Knicks might be saying, listen, no gift needed. I got my gift last night, the Knicks win. Others will be like, I'll still take a gift. And maybe that gift is the gift of home improvement. All you have to do, I'm now shutting your mic off. Yep. You don't have to react. Don't react. Okay. Yes. Just sit there, please. Okay. Where was I? Yes, New York Sash. And right now, if you go in and just talk with them about setting up an appointment, whether it be 20% off windows or baths or their doors, just talk about that setup with New York Sash, and maybe you're doing it for your dad. They'll give you a free Ring video doorbell. No purchase is necessary. Just stop in and talk with the team and see what they can do for you. And right now, everything is 20% off at New York Sash in the showroom at 349 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro, or online at anytime, NewYorkSash.com. Go in and talk about your project and walk away with a free Ring video doorbell from New York Sash.
Hey, Utica and the Mohawk Valley, could you use some extra cash for summer? Do you need a new bed? Come to upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer, Mattress Express. Get a $300 prepaid Visa card on Simmons Beauty Rest Black King and Queen sets and Tempur-Pedic King and Queen sets. How about a $1,000 prepaid Visa card on the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort? That's the bed that gets soft and firm on each side with the touch of a button. The Flex Set option in King or Queen, and a 25-year industry-leading warranty. How would you pay for it? How about no money down with up to 5 years to pay for qualified buyers? No credit check payment plans available every day. How about a massage chair? Get a $500 prepaid Visa card on a massage chair. Stores in New Hartford on Commercial Drive, in Rome on Black River Boulevard. That's right, in Oneida in the Glenwood Plaza by the movie theater. Go to mattressexpressny.com. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS.
Joe Bitar is a husband, a dad, and an attorney who spent his career standing up for people. From the courtroom to the Common Council, and now Joe is ready to deliver results from the New York State Assembly. Joe cuts through the politics and brings people together to get things done.
My name is Joe Bitar, and I'm running for State Assembly because I love our community, and I will fight to continue to make this a better place to live.
Joe Bitar. For our families, for our future, vote Joe Bitar for New York Assembly.
Paid for by Joe Bitar for Assembly.
If you're a farmer, contractor, or landscaper, your business can be tough and demanding. That's why Bobcat's new line of compact tractors can be the partner you need to help take on these projects. Check out the great new selection of Bobcat compact tractors at Warner Sales and Service. Tough jobs demand tough equipment, so stop in and demo a new Bobcat tractor today. Just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona, and at WarnerSS.com.
Where quality still counts at Warner's.
Constantino won the debate, and the moment everyone's talking about proved it. Trump-endorsed businessman Anthony Constantino delivered a commanding performance against career politician Robert Smullen. Constantino talked about creating American jobs, building a company with over 1,000 employees, and standing up to Democrat boycotts and political attacks, all while self-funding his campaign to serve the people of New York's 21st District. Smullen appeared angry, defensive, and unprepared, but the most talked about moment came at the end. After praising Smullen's military service in his closing remarks, Constantino walked over to shake his hand. Smullen refused, turning his back in front of the entire audience. Constantino later said, "If he can't shake my hand, how can he work with people in Washington?" The contrast couldn't be clearer. On June 23rd, vote for Anthony Constantino. He's Trump-endorsed, the job creator, outsider, and fighter. He's nobody's man but yours. Early voting starts June 13th.
I'm Anthony Constantino, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Constantino for Congress.
Hello, I'm Oneida County Executive Anthony Picenti. This year marks the 250th birthday of the United States, and we've assembled a special commission to help organize events across our community. In the months ahead, we'll highlight why this is such a historic time for our region. From the signing of the Declaration of Independence to the turning point of the Revolutionary War, the Battle of Oriskany. You'll learn about the people, events, and local impact that shaped our nation. Our goal is simple, to help you love the history where you live, right here in Oneida County.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, portions of the program brought to you by Steve Honey Mazda. Save on a new Mazda lease or enjoy 0.9% APR financing on CX-50 hybrids, 0.9% on new 2026 Mazda CX-70s, or the one I love, the CX-90, and 0% on the FEV models. By the way, the CX-70 is just a little bit smaller than the CX-90, but really also a beautiful vehicle. 2.9% on the new 2026 Mazda CX-30 and CX-5. See Rick or Wyatt or anybody at the dealership for details. As Rick always says, let's make your deal on a new or pre-owned Mazda, where it's always easy to do business. Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. On the line right now is councilperson Samantha Colosimo Testa.
Congratulations.
Hi, good morning.
Congratulations on your championship.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome game. We came in the bottom of the fourth and scored 9 runs, 10-run roll them, and like I said, the bottom of the fourth, and won our 3rd championship. So it was pretty cool.
Is your goal to become a Major League Baseball manager? Is that your goal?
I mean,
because I got to tell you,
anybody could be.
I have a friend that his kid came home and said, Coach just said his goal is to be a Major League manager.
Listen,
okay.
Anybody could manage the Yankees or the Mets better than what they're doing now. So.
I guess at this point for the Mets, I guess. But
yeah,
all right. Well, listen.
Jeff did a great job. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it seemed like there was a little heat in this game.
No, it was definitely. It was 110 degrees.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was definitely hot, and Sal was doing some razzing yesterday on the air.
See.
But
okay.
It was
all right.
All's well that ends well, and the kids played great. Your kids played great. It was a competitive game. One of the rare things about a mercy rule situation is, as she said, they scored 9 runs in that last inning, and I think 8 of them came with 2 outs.
Yeah,
this was
happens.
A close game until it wasn't a close game.
Yeah. Okay, I want to ask you about your fellow councilperson from Utica, Katie Aiello.
Sure. What do you got for me?
I want you to say, I'm trying to get you to say, she's not from Utica.
Again?
Yeah, I didn't
know.
know
She's not from Utica. No.
She didn't say it right, though.
I thought you were going to AI generate me saying that.
I was, but for some reason I'm having a problem with my system and it's not working. I don't know what's going on. So I need you to say, she's not from Utica. She's not from Utica.
She's not from Utica.
Say it a little more meaner, like mean.
She's not from Utica. No. I don't know what you got me doing here.
Sam, my advice is stop doing this. Stop playing along.
This has to be the craziest thing that I've ever done in an interview, and that tells you something.
Yeah, well, yes, because you've done some crazy interviews. So, all right, well, let's see where it goes. Let's see where it goes. I'm stuck on one line. Once that line's done, we'll be ready to go with it. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow will be the day. All right. Tonight is the night where I'm assuming they're going to override this veto by the mayor, and the mayor's concern is this is over the pride flag. The mayor's concern is that this could open up a can of worms, placing the city in some legal liability. What are your thoughts?
Well, and here's the thing: they were kind of strategic how they actually passed the ordinance for the flag ordinance, because they tied it with the pride flag. And it's really not what the ordinance. It has nothing to do with the pride flag exclusively. So what they did was they passed an ordinance, and they said that we had discussion on it. I mean, maybe they did amongst themselves, but, I could say that I wasn't included in the conversation in detail before they actually passed the legislation in regards to this. With that said, they passed the piece of legislation with the regards of what flags could go up. Now, my whole point was, and I didn't vote for either, the proclamation or the ordinance, for the simple fact was, how do you say, what if somebody wants to come with a Nazi flag, right? And
That's
you deny the
problem.
Nazi flag.
Yeah, and what if that flag, which represents hate, you are now bound by law to fly that flag? I mean, maybe that's a little bit of an extreme case, but this could open that door.
It could. And whenever a piece of legislation, is passed, I go through it and I kind of, try and figure out, I'll send it to an attorney, maybe NICOM or something like that, and say, hey, can you interpret this law for me to help me understand if this could become a liability for the city?
Yeah.
And going through that process, it did come up that said, this could still be a liability for the city, because they said, what happens if you approve every flag? Now you could still become complacent in the fact that you're now approving every flag. There's no delineation on what you're actually approving and what you're not approving. So, and again, I sat on the council under a previous administration, for 8 years. Nobody mentioned a flag ever, okay? The first 2 years on the council that I got back onto the council with the previous administration, there was nothing said about a flag. Now, I understand that the Boston case happened in 2022. So it was towards the end of the previous mayor's term. But again, it goes back to the fact as, they continue to pass things without caring for the liability of the city. Now, the turning point to this was they passed this on May 20th. They had 7 days. The mayor has 72 hours in order to override a veto. So he overrides the veto. So we have a meeting on June 5th, okay, or that first Wednesday in June, maybe June 3rd. And they cancel the council meeting. So I'm thinking to myself, what did we cancel the council meeting for? Well, one person couldn't attend. Now, they don't even understand that their own rules, that you need a motion in a second to override something, anyway. So they could have still called for a special meeting and still had the public commenting period on June 1st, even if they didn't have enough to override, because they didn't have to override it at that meeting. So they have a special meeting tonight, right? No public commenting period, nothing like that. And again, and I feel like they were getting some type of backlash to this, because if you looked at a lot of the comments said, why not just stay safe, fly one flag or fly flags of origin, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
So now we have a special meeting tonight, and they're saying, well, we could waive the rules of order. Well, how does one know that you're going to waive the rules of order? So they're going to come to a meeting not prepared to speak, and then you're going to only invite the people that you think that could speak at that meeting tonight. So that's really the issue that we're running into.
Can you come on tomorrow and just give us a wrap up on this?
Yeah, I'll give you a wrap up, because there's there's actually a couple pieces of legislation that I have.
Okay, I'd like to see where it all lands.
In regards to the parks and stuff like that. So I will definitely come back tomorrow and keep you updated.
And being that Katie's from Utica, maybe we'll get her too.
Yeah, she has a court date today in regards to getting evicted, so maybe she can explain that too.
She didn't bite.
All right, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Dingy Bar's running this Saturday.
I see that. Is that 6 o'clock run at the aqueduct, right?
Yep,
okay.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Good luck.
All right, guys.
Okay.
All right, take care.
I want to bring in right now, ladies and gentlemen, here she is in the corner wearing the, I don't know what color trunks, Katrina Hurricane Scalzo. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Let me just tell you something. You're an elementary teacher?
Yes, I am. First grade.
Your kids don't mess with you, do they? They don't mess with you.
They're my toughest opponent.
I'll bet they are. I'll bet they are.
But Mrs. Scalzo.
Yeah. My wife teaches second, and I swear she, at any moment, could beat the crap out of me. I just know it could be coming at any time. So who knows? Maybe you and her and down the road. Listen, this is one of the fights everyone is talking about tomorrow night at the Turning Stone is your fight.
Yeah, it's a surreal moment. It was really awesome to be able to do that back in February to fight against Michelle at the Turning Stone for my pro debut, and it ended in a draw. So we decided that it was best to do it again at International Hall of Fame weekend.
All right. So this is a major, and this was an amazing fight. Everybody has talked about it. So tomorrow night, it's you versus Cook in a rematch here. This is going to be really exciting.
Yeah, we got our match, and we also have some other great matches coming up as well, too. There's 8 bouts, and it's a show you're not going to want to miss.
Can I just ask you, how do you go from all the schooling you have to go through to become a teacher, and then you got to get your master's and you do all of that? At what point are you like, I'm going to box? Or were you boxing beforehand?
I wasn't boxing beforehand. I actually started about 4 years ago. I was student teaching with one of my co-teachers, and she was a coach at the time, and she encouraged me to try a class. And I used to run throughout college and high school, and I was, kind of not running as much anymore. I was gaining weight, and she was like, you should come to, core boxing and, try it out and see. And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, never really aggressive.
Yeah.
And she's like, just try it. And I was like, all right. So I went and I tried it, and I ended up loving it. And I just loved seeing myself progress and trying to get myself better one step at a time. And then it turned into, let me see how I could do sparring. And then after sparring, I was like, well, how would I do in a fight? I'd never been in a fight. So I was training for my first fight, and the rest is history from there.
Wow.
And then it just kept progressing. Yeah. So I never thought in a million years that I would be here, but this is God's plan. So
yeah.
Here we are.
Speaking with Katrina Hurricane Scalzo, who will be fighting tomorrow night at the Turning Stone.
So are you teaching today and tomorrow? And what I'm getting at is I'm curious about what your schedule is like as far as, do you have to make weight? Are you on any diet restrictions here the last couple of days as you're preparing for a fight?
I'm not teaching today or tomorrow just because we do have weigh-ins this morning, and we have to go through medicals and registration and all that. So it's pretty jam-packed today. And then tomorrow is just getting ready and getting into the fight mindset as well, too.
Yeah.
So we're not teaching today or tomorrow, but as it regards for diet, I've been right around like my fight weight. So I've been just eating pretty healthy, a lot of salads and chickens, and lots of water and fruits and vegetables, stuff that's going to give me energy.
I've heard the weight cutting process can be brutal and very taxing on the body. So,
it definitely can be for sure.
Which is why they always say you be consistent. Don't go up and down and up and down. If you can stay consistent, your body will be used to it. I wrestled in high school, so a lot has changed since those days when it comes to cutting weight. But boxing, it's still a deal where you gotta make weight. What is it like?
Right.
What is it like for your students? Have you talked? I'm assuming you've talked about this. They see stuff, their parents will say, your teacher's going to be boxing Friday night. What is it like for your students? And then I'd like to go part 2 of that. What's it like for the young little girls in your class?
Some of them, they think it's really cool. And then some of them, sometimes think that they can use that, almost as an excuse. But I try to really instill in them, do you see Miss Scalzo, out there, beating up people just randomly? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, so just because you have skills doesn't mean that you can just go out there and use them whenever. And I try to instill in them that this is a sport, and part of that is the self-discipline and the self-control that you have to have, not only in the sport, but also in life in general, too.
Yeah.
So a lot of the values that boxing teaches us, I try to instill in them. Back in February, our school always does a person for each classroom for Black History Month, and then each classroom like kind of does like a morning announcement on them, and they talk about that person. We do a bulletin board, and our person's always Muhammad Ali, and we talk about how Muhammad Ali, he was dyslexic, and he had the hardest time reading, and he never gave up. And same with in the boxing, like he never gave up. He persevered. He had that self-control and that discipline to overcome those challenges, even though those were hard for him.
Yeah.
And I try to instill that into my students as well, to have a growth mindset and to not give up, even though things may be hard, and they have to just keep trying. Even if you fail 100 times, that 101 time is where you get that success from.
Well, and Muhammad Ali really is a great example there, because he just spoke eloquently for someone who was dyslexic. I mean, he was an orator, and at times a poet, and owned those interviews. If you remember those interviews from the 70s, it was just incredible. But then the fact that you're a female and you're doing what you're doing, and I think this is very important. What you're doing tomorrow night is being taken seriously. I mean, there was a time when women's boxing was an aside, almost like it wasn't taken seriously, but it is now. And yours is one of the big fights, and they know it's one of the big draws tomorrow night. That's really big.
Yeah, I feel very incredibly blessed and grateful that everything that has happened that has led me up to this point, and what the future holds. Like, I'm very optimistic and excited, for the future as well too, because there's so many more opportunities for females out there. Christy Martin definitely blazed a path for us, along with Amanda Serrano, and we continue to keep showing that we belong in this sport, and we're amazing to watch too.
Yeah, I was just going to say we wish you the best of luck, and hopefully it turns out to be a home court advantage, if you will, tomorrow night. I know the fans will be behind you. So
good luck, Katrina.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you so much.
See you there.
All right, we'll see you there tomorrow night. Thank you. That's at the showroom. I'm sorry, the event center, the Turning Stone Resort and Casino. Thank you. Have a great day and good luck.
Thank you.
All right, thanks so much. Wow, that's going to be pretty darn big. And it will be a draw
night for her, for sure.
Especially, this thing was so close and was such a good fight originally to come back. And I can see out of the corner of my eye, you're trying to say something. Are you? No,
I was just going to say they had a championship fight 2 weeks ago. Holly Holm fought for the belt, and she should have won in her boxing match, and she lost. Holly Holm's one of the most talented boxers that also is a trailblazer. And to see that Christy Martin is a part of all of this after that unbelievable movie and her story of domestic violence, it's important. So pretty cool and awesome how she's trying to take all of this and create a lesson for her students. Katrina Scalzo from Utica. All right, Davey, let's do Hobica's free money. We haven't even talked about it yet. What are we looking at? There's no advancement, no tickets. This is just pure money. What are you looking at today?
$300.
$300 on the line. Great question. We'll take caller number
7.
Seventh caller right now at 315-736-0186. We'll do it next. Your chance to win from Hobica and WIBX. Then Police Chief Herkimer.
Former Police Chief
Herkimer's former police chief, Mike Jury, is running for mayor, the Republican candidate. Village elections are coming up on Tuesday. We'll speak to him after the free money question, which is next on WIBX.
Looking to cruise into summer savings with a reliable ride without the brand new price tag? Head to Steep Ponte Chevrolet in Herkimer and check out our Car Bravo certified pre-owned vehicles. Perfect for summer road trips, weekend getaways, and everyday driving. Every Car Bravo vehicle is backed by a certified warranty for added peace of mind. Right now, qualified buyers can get rates as low as 3.9% for 36 months on Silverado and Colorado, plus so much more. Plus, every Car Bravo vehicle includes a 1-year, 12,000-mile limited warranty. Chevy. At Steep Ponte Chevy, we make car buying easy, so you can spend less time shopping and more time enjoying the road ahead. But hurry, these summer savings won't last. Visit Steep Ponte Chevrolet on Route 28 in Herkimer or online at steeppontechevy.com. Steep Ponte Chevrolet, where it's always easy to do business. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. 3.9% for 36 months on select models for qualified buyers only through GM Financial. Taxes and fees extra. Must take delivery by June 30, 2026. See dealer for details.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Service, family owned and operated since 1980. Tallman's is proud to provide trusted professional auto care to our community. From brake repairs and New York State inspections to check engine light diagnostic to four-wheel alignments, Tallman's Tire and Auto Service accept all aftermarket warranties, and they specialize in fleet vehicles, accepting all fleet maintenance programs. When your vehicle needs attention, you can count on them to get you back on the road quickly and safely. Save time and money. Schedule your appointment today at tallmanstire.com.
Albany is broke, and Dan Fusco knows it. Highest energy costs, highest taxes, highest healthcare costs. These issues affect you and your families, and Dan knows it. With 50 years of private business experience, Dan is determined to fix Albany. Vote for someone who has long-term solutions, who will listen and work for you. Vote Dan Fusco on June 23rd.
Paid for by friends of Dan Fusco.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, if you're just waking up this morning or just turning the radio on, you haven't really looked at anything, you may be shocked to find out that the New York Knicks came from 29 points behind to win game number 4 of the NBA Finals. And they're one game away from winning it all. What a comeback, Manaski.
Yeah, almost too good to be true. Unbelievable. I cannot believe that they came all the way back. And as a Knicks fan, I have to tell you, the missed layup, the fast break layup that Hart missed, and then with the 1.2 seconds left on the clock, I was for sure in my mind knew there's no way we're going to pull this out. There's no way. And I cannot believe that they're in the situation they're in. They better raise the championship, because this would be incredibly disappointing to come all this way and not win.
Well, I even felt that way after. I'm like, are you kidding me? They have come back from 29 points, and they're going to lose this game on that last shot or on the missed dunk that should have happened on the breakaway. They're going to lose this game after all of this. And they won. Wow. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. I go there and see both Dr. Zielinski and Dr. Chmielewski. They do a process each month that I do, and it's called OMT, Osteopathic Manipulation Treatment, which basically puts your body in check, where everything is loosened up, everything is flowing. It's in addition to going to see a chiropractor for me, and everything flowing properly each month. I feel like it's maintenance on your, like you would on your vehicle, to keep it running properly. It's the Falcon Clinic. If you're in need of a new family doctor, call today. They're now accepting new patients. The addition of Dr. Cheryl Mattern has changed everything. They're accepting new patients now. Call today at 315-507-4751. I love the fact that they believe in some old-fashioned values. That is, if you have a 2 o'clock appointment, you have a 2 o'clock appointment. That doesn't mean they see you at 3:30. Also, they give you the time that you need. It might be 20 minutes, might be a half an hour, but you get the time that you need with your physician, and that is a big deal. All right, Dale, ready to take a shot at Hobeika's free money question of the day. It comes from the Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. We do this every day at this time. You never know what the money's going to be. Somehow, in this world, we rely on Davey to come up with that number, and today that number is $300. The contestant is Dale in Utica. Hi, Dale. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
You know how it. You know how this all works. 7 seconds to get your answer in. Let's do it. This is origin. Word origin. from the category word origin. This derogatory term, Nimrod, originated from what show? Ready, go.
Oh, I have no clue.
All in the Family?
No. Anybody else?
The Flintstones.
It shocked me. Every question that I have given this week, I hate to say, has come from watching Jeopardy. Like these little side things.
Yeah.
Or they're all topical, and this was just on Jeopardy. I was shocked to hear this. Anybody? You want to take a guess? Oh, go ahead. Yes.
Dennis the Menace.
You're actually closer. The answer is Bugs Bunny. The word did not exist until Bugs Bunny called somebody a Nimrod. Nimrod.
I'd like to call you out on that.
Okay.
It's actually a biblical term.
All right. Are you? So now you're on. Now you're definitely on Google.
On Google.
Yeah. All
I
right.
certainly am.
Well, then, if you would have said biblical term, and showed us the evidence of that, we would have given it to you. Yeah.
Right.
You know what they say is don't trust what you read on the internet, whatever you do. What did it mean? What did Nimrod mean?
Well, it wasn't a meaning. It was the name of Noah's son, or great-grandson.
But that's not a derogatory term. That's a name.
Yeah.
Well, so maybe he was a moron.
Maybe he was a moron.
Maybe he inspired it.
Maybe he was a moron. Yeah. Where did I hear that name, too? That came yesterday. So, all right. Well, listen, I'm going to let you argue with Jeopardy. And either way, we're going to give you movie tickets, Glenwood Movieplex tickets, and Rome Cinema 8. You stand by. Don't go anywhere. Davey's going to hook you up, Dale. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay. Dale giving away the old Google trick. It was Noah's
grandson,
and that's why I believe derogatory term is the key to the question.
Yeah.
He is, and then moron. Where did that? Someone called someone a moron. Oh, it's the movie Pressure.
Really?
And yes, because remember, in this movie, it's all about the meteorologist arguing over whether or not there's going to be a storm on the 5th, what was originally going to be D-Day, and they delayed it by 1 day. And the two meteorologists, one American, one British, got into an argument, and the British said, who was correct, by the way, saying there was going to be a storm, said, "I'm sorry, you're a moron." That's in the movie. You got to see this movie. It's really, really good. And I didn't think I'd buy what's his name as Ike, but
I can't think of his name.
It works. It really does work. All right, let me go to Herkimer now. Former police chief Mike Jory is running for mayor of the village of Herkimer, and he's on the line right now. I'll start with this, Chief. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. And what are you thinking? Politics are tough. So what are you? What are your goals here for the village of Herkimer?
Well, to go back a little bit, that has been pretty much a common question I've gotten from friends, family, and people that I've talked to when I've gone around the village. My thing is, I've always been in public service for 36 years. I was a police officer, ended it in from Gloversville into Herkimer, where I completed the last 9 years. I've always had a civic duty. I've sat there through the last 9 years and, agreed with a lot of things and disagreed with a lot of things. Wasn't really in a position to make a lot of change village-wide, other than through the channel of a police department. When I left there, I complained a little bit. We all complain, and rather than sit there and complain, I figured I'd see what I can do, step in, see if I had enough of a following that believed in my vision, and try to step up and put forth my vision.
Your vision, I have to say, in Herkimer, it seems that for a long time it hasn't been necessarily vision as much as division. It seems like people dig in. Are you someone that can be supported by both sides?
I believe I am. I mean, the position of police chief obviously is pretty tough to maintain both sides. Any decision you make usually pleases 50% of the people and upsets the other half.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem that I saw was it's a beautiful village. I love this village. I love the people. Served them, like I said, loyally for 9 years. There has been so much divisiveness, so much division, as you say. It's just been ugly, pure ugly.
Yeah.
A lot of good things have happened. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say everything's negative, but there's a lot of good things have happened, and unfortunately, there's just such a division and so much polarization that there's nothing really truly good coming out of the community side. Yes, there's development. Yes, there's grants. That's wonderful. That's part of the job. But as far as, uniting the villagers and getting together and having these committees and having these boards and having these events, I mean, that's kind of fallen on the wayside.
You've been there for a long time, and how do you convince people that those people that remember Herkimer 25 years ago and the decline, and there does seem to be now a bounce back, but it's been a rough couple of decades for the village.
Yes, and the one thing that it's tough to hear, and again, I'm guilty of it myself, is like, oh, we want to bring Herkimer back. We want to bring Herkimer back. I don't think you can go back. We're never going to get the old stores downtown. We're never going to get the Woolworths being the hot spot or Montgomery Wards. That stuff, unfortunately, is kind of moved along. But what we can bring back is a reason to be downtown for whatever reason on Main Street. And I think, to make everybody buy into the whole process, you have to have buy-in, not just from a handful of people, but everyone.
Yeah.
And I think I'm, the leader that can do that.
All right. We wish you the best. Election is Tuesday. Now, is that a noon to, or what are the hours of Election Day Tuesday?
You're correct. Noon to 9 at the Basel Library on North Main Street.
All right. Well, we will be speaking with your opponents, and but we want to wish you the best of luck, and we'll see what happens by Wednesday morning. Thanks so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Right. Have a great day. He is the former police chief, Mike Jari, in the village of Herkimer, and it has. Listen, I think I think Utica's gone through the same issue, right? You're never going to bring back what it was. You have to kind of figure out what it is going to be and what it can be.
Right.
And I think the same issue in Herkimer. I mean, you go back into the 60s, you had MDS, you had high-end restaurants. It was a completely different world than where we are today.
And a lot more people, like twice, when you talk about Utica, twice the population.
Yep.
Yeah, Utica is the only city in the United States that has declined by more than 50% since 1950.
That's an interesting stat.
Yeah.
Future free money question of the day, possibly.
Well,
when I'm allowed to speak,
that'll be the last time. But I will say though that if it wasn't for immigration in Utica, they would have fallen down below that large city status.
Yeah.
Down
Second class city.
Below 50,000. All right. Listen, coming up next hour, a bunch to get to. For the first time, we'll speak with Joe Bitar, running for the 119th Assembly Democratic primary. That's the seat currently being held by Marianne Buttonshaw. We'll speak with Sheriff Rob Mashel. Yesterday's domestic violence event was really big. And then he is going to be a special investigator for, is it Otsego County? After some things are going on there, which are a little messy. We'll speak with the sheriff on that one. And then a bunch more, including John Decker, Chief White House Correspondent with Gray TV. In the Oval Office yesterday when the signing of that bill went through, also with the president talking about how he likes the inflation. That'll be an isolated clip the Democrats will be using
for sure
in the midterm elections. So a quick break. We'll come right back at WIBX. Let me, so there is no, I see what you're saying. I don't see. I'll let you figure it out. But I will tell you, people of all ages can experience any level of discomfort. Sometimes it can be extremely severe. Knees, hips, back, all stemming from the feet. It's the Good Feet store. They invite you to imagine life without the pain by coming in to seeing the arch support specialists. It's the Good Feet store. Walk in, no appointment is needed. You get a free fitting and test walk with no appointment needed, no appointment required. These are inserts that go into your shoes and will correct your step and could very well remove the pain from the knees, the hips, and the back. And we've talked to people who swear by these and wear them every single day. It's the Good Feet store. Walk in today without or with an appointment. The Good Feet store, 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford, 315-999-3910.
Meet Anthony Constantino, running to represent us in Congress.
First off, you. I see through your game.
Wannabe rapper, wannabe Republican. But he can't rap his way out of reality. He's a lifelong Democrat who helped fund Trump's impeachment. After the George Floyd riots, he called our cops racist and sold Kill the Police stickers. He claims he's America first, but he shipped jobs overseas, even replaced workers with robots. Anthony Constantino, worse than a wannabe. He's a fraud.
And I know just how this ends.
The real conservative in the race? Robert Smullen, a Marine colonel. He fought for our country. Smullen was appointed by President Trump and will fight for the America First agenda. He's the Republican conservative and law enforcement endorsed candidate. On June 23rd, vote Robert Smullen for Congress. Proven patriot, ready to serve.
I'm Robert Smullen, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Robert Smullen for Congress.
Hurt in a car, call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
Step away from the screen and into something real at the 2026 Glimmerglass Festival, where summer comes alive with the finest in opera and musical theater just minutes from Cooperstown.
The Glimmerglass Festival is a world-class summer celebration of the arts overlooking beautiful Otsego Lake, making it an easy day trip from anywhere in the Mohawk Valley.
This year's festival runs July 10th through August 17th and explores our American journey through iconic musical theater and beloved opera classics. Revel in big dance numbers, a will they, won't they romance, and tunes you won't be able to stop humming with Rodgers and Hammerstein's timeless Oklahoma.
The Glimmerglass Festival, no filters, no algorithms, just unforgettable performances and a perfect summer's day by the lake with world-class opera and musical theater, just a short drive from anywhere in the Mohawk Valley.
Experience live music, live voices, and live storytelling. No scrolling required. Visit glimmerglass.org to purchase tickets and learn.
WIBX Utica Road, from the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
Iran says the ceasefire is now practically meaningless. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. After the U.S. went on the attack again and Iran retaliated again, launching drones and missiles at Gulf countries with American bases, Bahrain, Jordan, and Kuwait. Some were shot down. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson is at the White House.
For the second consecutive night, U.S. forces launching strikes, and that strike included launching Tomahawk cruise missiles from a U.S. warship. In a statement, Central Command said, quote, CENTCOM forces launched strikes on Iranian military surveillance capabilities, communication systems, and air defense sites across Iran.
President Trump called Fox's Trey Inks from the Situation Room during the bombing, saying we hit them very hard.
Because they were unwilling to make a good faith deal at the negotiating table. And I asked the president, if they don't sign the deal, what's going to happen? And he said, we'll bomb the S out of them tomorrow night. And so clearly President Trump is keeping the military option on the table if the Iranians are unwilling to make those concessions.
India is upset over another U.S. strike in this conflict, one that killed 3 people on a ship.
The crew members died when a U.S. missile hit the engine room of the MT Setabello, an Indian-operated oil and chemicals tanker accused of trying to breach the blockade of Iranian ports. Their deaths confirmed today after being reported missing yesterday. India has lodged a strong protest to the strike. The U.S. said the vessel was carrying oil from Iran.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. While Iran insists it controls the Strait of Hormuz, blocking shipping, President Trump says a secret U.S. mission has escorted a lot of ships out, more than 200, carrying 100 million barrels of oil.
Late at night with no lights, because they don't have any radar, because we blasted the crap out of them.
Now, last night, the president posted on Truth Social a call for Republicans in Congress to approve $350 billion for the military. Using a reconciliation process Democrats cannot block. He also wants that to include new rules for voting, requiring ID and outlawing most mail-in balloting and no transgender athletes in women's sports. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, this 25th anniversary of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation remains committed to honoring the heroes shaped by that day. Heroes like NYPD Detective Victor Vargas, a U.S. Air Force veteran who died from pancreatic cancer after serving in the World Trade Center recovery efforts. Tunnel to Towers honored Detective Vargas by paying off the family's mortgage. You can donate $11 a month, and you can amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Shh, here he comes. Surprise! The people above your catering business are doing major construction, and the drilling is only during business hours. It's so loud.
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money, getting personalized discounts on a commercial auto quote with Progressive.
Also, that isn't powdered sugar on the floor. It's plaster from your ceiling.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Something President Trump did in his first term, he may undo in his second. Could include also lead to more trade and tariff turmoil with our neighbors to the north and south.
President Trump says he is not looking to renew the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement when it comes up for review next month. A provision of the USMCA allows a country to withdraw from the trade pact with 6 months' notice, something the Trump administration is signaling it may do.
And they have to treat us better. You know, with Mexico and Canada, we have trade deficits. We should have surpluses with them. We don't need their cars. We don't need their lumber. We don't need their energy. We don't need anything.
Renewal negotiations have already begun between the U.S. and Mexico. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Later this hour, we'll get another inflation report expected to show a rise in wholesale prices the day after the update on consumer prices showing the highest annual rate in May in 3 years. That led to a stock market plunge, dragging the Dow down more than 900 points. But this morning, Dow futures are rising over 300. A historic night in New York. The Knicks staged the biggest comeback ever in the NBA Finals.
The Spurs jumped out in front early in this one as they led by 27 points at the half, the largest halftime lead by a road team in Finals history. But the Knicks began to claw their way back in the second half, taking the lead briefly before being down again with 30 seconds to go. But OG Anunoby flew in to save the day.
Thompson gets it, fires up a three. Got no good. The tip is gone. It's gone. It's gone. With 1.2 remaining. Knicks take the lead.
The call on ABC. The Knicks come back from 29 points down to win at 107-106, and they take a 3-1 lead in the series. Tony Genualdo, Fox News.
Game 5 will be in San Antonio Saturday night. Soccer's World Cup starts today in Mexico with 2 matches. Team USA plays tomorrow. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
We have partly cloudy skies, already 72 degrees. It's 8:05. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. This news update brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. Oneida County Sheriff Rob Maciel joined by local law enforcement leaders and some elected officials as well as they collectively urged Governor Kathy Hochul to sign a bill that was passed by the Assembly and Senate. It would require that that a lethality assessment be done by law enforcement at all domestic violence cases. The newly adopted lethality assessment would be incorporated into standardized domestic incident reports that are currently used by law enforcement across the state. The amendment would greatly help officers identify victims who are at the greatest risk of serious injury or death and connect them with domestic violence services before the tragedy occurs. Joining Maciel at the press conference yesterday were the police chiefs of Utica and Rome, Oneida County DA Todd Carville, Herkimer County Sheriff Scott Scherer, along with Senator Joe Griffo and Assemblywoman Marianne Buttonshaw.
We'll speak with Sheriff Maciel on that coming up. There are some countries where if it is reported, they do not need the victim to press charges in order to make an arrest. They make an arrest anyway. Not here, though.
Last month, Utica police were dispatched to the Michael Walsh Apartments on Gray Avenue after several teens entered a vacant apartment and discharged a fire extinguisher, as well as in the apartment and the hallway. As a result of a significant amount of damage, it was further learned that that group of teens had been involved in multiple incidents at the complex as well, and officials say none of them actually lived there, so they shouldn't have been on the property at all. Based on the investigation, Utica police charging 3 teens, ages 13, 14, and 14, with burglary and criminal tampering. Due to their ages, their identities are not being released. The Utica Zoo introducing its newest attraction, the Bull Reef exhibit. It's in the former Wildlife Hall Auditorium. It was funded by the Bruce and Frances Bull Family Fund at the Community Foundation. It features 2,000 gallons of saltwater coral and fish. It's now the second largest coral reef on the East Coast and will be open year-round. And Bill, National Grid is making a promise to customers during periods of high temperatures. The utility company says it'll pause service disconnections for non-payment on any day where the heat index is forecast to be 90 degrees or higher. Disconnection only happens when National Grid has tried to help customers struggling to pay an overdue balance. Disconnections will also be put on hold in real time if temperatures are warmer than previously forecast. I have questions about this. So, like, if it's going to be,
Sorry, you can't turn my electric off. It's going to be hot.
If the heat index is going to be above 90 next Thursday, does it mean they can't turn me off on Sunday?
Yeah, I don't know where they're going with this, but I do understand it. Do you know something for real?
Yes, I know that it's kind of like what they do in the winter. From October until March, they are not allowed to turn your electricity off, your power off, because of the cold. So they're doing the same thing with the heat because you could get heat stroke and so many things.
I am surprised that they can't turn your. Used to be they just shut you off. It didn't matter.
Yeah, they can't now because people have died.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So I'm useful.
Yes. Oh, you are useful.
A hot start so far this morning. We're at 72 degrees. It is 8:09.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies here today. Hot and humid with scattered showers and storms possible. Any that we do see could be strong to severe. Temperatures approaching 90 this afternoon, 70 tonight. Hot and humid Friday with scattered showers and storms. Again, some could be strong to severe. Highs tomorrow, low 90s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone from the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, we have partly cloudy skies, Bill. We are at 72 degrees. From the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk, it was the greatest comeback in NBA Finals history.
Guarding the inbound pass. Brunson gets it, fires up a three. Shot no good. The chip, it's gone! It's gone! It's gone! With 1.2 remaining. Knicks take the lead. And it's 107-106. Bedlam here at the Garden. They can't believe it. That's it. It's over. The greatest comeback in NBA playoff history.
OG Anunoby or Obi-Wan Kenobi, who cares how you pronounce it? The Knicks got the victory, a 1-point win after trailing by 29 in the third quarter. Knicks look to close out the series Game 5 in San Antonio on Saturday. Tonight, the Stanley Cup Finals continue, the series shifting back to Carolina as the Hurricanes will host the Vegas Golden Knights. That series tied at 2 games apiece. Baseball action, the Yankees sweep the Guardians. Wednesday's final 8-4, Jazz Chisholm 3 RBIs. The Yankees have won 4 straight. They now head to Toronto to take on the Blue Jays for a 3-game series beginning tomorrow. The Mets have dropped 2 straight, losing to the Cardinals 9-2. The Mets look to avoid the series sweep coming up later this afternoon. And Patrick Mahomes is the owner of the richest deal in NFL history. He's adding 2 years to his contract in a negotiation with Kansas City. They reworked the deal, I think, to free up some cap space for this year. His deal now runs through 2033 with a value of $504.75 million, making it the first deal in league history at over $500 million. The new money on the deal is worth just over $239 million. The first 4 years are guaranteed at his signing.
33.
I don't know if he's to
Well,
make
you're
it to
looking at-
2033.
yeah.
It's another 7 years, is that?
Yeah. How old's Aaron Rodgers right now?
41.
Yeah. So you want to add to that?
Yeah, it's just they're pushing the money out a little bit further. They put it in bonuses, and his base salary is lower. So like you said, it frees up cap space. And the 4 years are guaranteed, but the NFL traditionally reworks contracts year after year.
And I think they need to do it because of the salary cap. So they got to free up some money.
Yeah.
So
He's averaging $64 million a year.
Oh, yeah. Well, it is a life-saving job.
Highest paid quarterback.
Yeah.
Ever.
I told my mom, I'm going to do radio.
Yeah.
I'm going to do radio, Mom.
Well, she knew. She knew it was a bad decision.
Yeah.
Okay. I just cannot get over, and this story is worth telling one more time, my friend Matt. Some people just fall into it. It blows my mind. And here's how it went down. When the Knicks were down last night by 29 points, he put in a bet using the money line. It would have paid whatever it was going to pay. Anyway, so then the line, it goes up a little more. So he put more money on it. Then it went up to 15 plus 1,500. So that means for a $100 bet, you'd win $1,500 if the Knicks win. He put a little more money on it.
So he gambled.
Then when it went to, this is in the third quarter, it looked like the Knicks were going to falter and continue to falter. It went to plus 2,200. He put $250 on that. So he had a series of 6 bets there. Now you're coming down. Wow. Now you're coming down. There's just a few minutes left. And I think the kick right there was when the breakaway and they get out and he misses it. Who was the player? He misses it.
I think it was Josh Hart.
Josh Hart.
Misses a dunk. And all of a sudden he decides, okay, I'm going to cash out. So what that means, if you've ever done the live betting, is the whatever betting app you're using will offer you money to get out of it. Because it looks like there's a good chance you could win. They don't want to pay out the big amount, so they'll give you $1,000 in this case. And I think he had like 5 bets, or 5 or 6, whatever it was, each paying somewhere in the range of $1,000 to $1,300. So he could have walked away with about $5,000. He decides, based on the $1,000 that he put in, he's going to walk away with $5,000, and he starts to cash out. And his phone goes dead. So he doesn't cash out. He won over
Greatest thing ever.
He won over $14,000 because the Knicks pulled it out.
He gambled a lot.
That's what he did.
A lot of gambling, right?
And now, that's me or you, we lose it all. Got a break. Coming up, Joe Bitar is running for the Assembly. A seat currently held by Marianne Buttonshaw. We'll speak with Joe coming up next to WIBX.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Constantino won the debate, and the moment everyone's talking about proved it. Trump-endorsed businessman Anthony Constantino delivered a commanding performance against career politician Robert Smullen. Constantino talked about creating American jobs, building a company with over 1,000 employees, and standing up to Democrat boycotts and political attacks, all while self-funding his campaign to serve the people of New York's 21st District. Smullen appeared angry, defensive, and unprepared, but the most talked about moment came at the end. After praising Smullen's military service in his closing remarks, Constantino walked over to shake his hand. Smullen refused, turning his back in front of the entire audience. Constantino later said, "If he can't shake my hand, how can he work with people in Washington?" The contrast couldn't be clearer. On June 23rd, vote for Anthony Constantino. He's Trump-endorsed, the job creator, outsider, and fighter. He's nobody's man but yours. Early voting starts June 13th.
I'm Anthony Constantino, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Constantino for Congress.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Service. Family owned and operated since 1980, Tallman's is proud to provide trusted, professional auto care to our community. From brake repairs and New York State inspections to check engine light diagnostic to four-wheel alignments, Tallman's Tire and Auto Service accept all aftermarket warranties, and they specialize in fleet vehicles, accepting all fleet maintenance programs. When your vehicle needs attention, you can count on them to get you back on the road quickly and safely. Save time and money. Schedule your appointment today at tallmanstire.com.
Contractors and landscapers, be able to take on more jobs and get your current projects done with Warner Sales and Service. Whether it's the tough lifting and digging or the more precise work with attachments, Warner Sales and Service has the Bobcat rental to make sure your projects get done. Tough work demands tough equipment, so stop in today at Warner Sales and Service, just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona, and at warnerss.com.
Where quality still counts at Warner's.
Start your Sunday with a smarter take on the week that was and the week ahead. It's This Weekend with Gordon Deal, bringing you news analysis, fresh perspectives, and stories that matter most. From business and politics to lifestyle and culture, Gordon Deal keeps you informed and ready for the days ahead. Tune in Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. This Weekend with Gordon Deal, your weekend informed. That's Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
I got to say, I had Nagel at our house yesterday. Pitter Patter is the name of his home improvement company. Do I have that right?
I believe you do.
Yeah. Anyway, we purchased tile. My wife, I should get this straight. My wife picked out tile for our home, and Nagel yesterday, and it'll be Nagel. We're finally getting it. This is about 2 years we've been trying to do this, and we're finally pulling the trigger. Right now, another thing that we had done in our home was add hardwoods through Insera's Flooring, and what a tremendous job they did. And right now they have an amazing sale on hardwood floors, and how that can change your home, make it look so much better, and improve the value. 50% off Premier Hallmark Alta Vista Oak Hardwood. That's $325 a square foot. Another incredible deal is on Mohawk Radiant Oak Hardwood, $3 a square foot, which is 50% savings there. Amazing beauty, adding value to your home. How about the White Oak Hardwood at 50% off? That's just $275 a square foot. Their flooring is spectacular. The selection is amazing. The largest in the area. They only do flooring. They are the experts. It's in Sarah's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy, and in sarahsflooringoutlet.com. One quick comment I know you have there.
Let's see. Lance says, Bill sounds like my grandfather that had dementia, telling the same story over and over.
The majority of people who listen to radio listen in blocks. And on a show like this, you have your 6 a.m. block, your 7 a.m. block, your 8 a.m. block. Within each block, it's broken up usually into quarter hours, Lance. And
like 7:15, 7:30,
yes, that's a quarter hour. That's
yeah.
a quarter hour, just to let you know. The average person would not have heard me mention it the first or second time, but only the third time because of their listening habits. So we appreciate the fact, Lance, that you're with us at every step of the way, willing to catch every single thing that we might do wrong.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning,
you,
Lance.
Lance, for that.
Real quick.
I don't think our bosses do that, to be honest with you.
Let's hope that they do not.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bill was off on the domestic violence arrest issue. Police can make domestic violence arrests without victim cooperation as long as there is probable cause.
But most times it happens often. Most times it happens often where, and this is a classic situation, right, where the police come, the woman doesn't press charges, and police will leave. I'm not saying it never happens, but oftentimes it happens that way. That's all. Thank you. Was that Lance too?
No.
Oh, okay. Joe Bitar is running for the Assembly. The seat 119th, currently held by Marianne Buttonshaw, and he is on the radio with us here this morning. Joe, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so why are you running for this assembly seat? And by the way, Joe is on the council in the city of Utica. He's also an attorney. Why are you running? What contribution do you want to make?
Well, it's a good segue. So during my time on the council, I'm a second-term councilman in the city. You see these issues over the past several years. You see property tax increases. You see issues with paving our roads. You see things come up with public safety, our DPW services, and kind of think about these things and say, these are really local issues. But then, it occurs to you at some point that really everything funnels through the state with funding, with how much money we're getting back of our sales tax dollars, our income tax dollars, how much of it comes back to our local communities. That's through AIM funding. We talk about that a lot, and also CHIPS funding for our roads. So I start thinking about, can I be effective at the state level? And working on the council over the past few years has given me that foundation to identify the issues at the local levels. At the local level here throughout our community, throughout Utica, Rome, Whitestown, Marcy, Deerfield, and Floyd. So now I have a grasp on what those issues are. And if elected in November, my plan would be to work on solutions toward those issues. And we could get into AIM funding because that's been a big part of this campaign, and the CHIPS funding with the roads as well.
You are currently a member of the Utica Common Council. Earlier this morning, we talked to Samantha Colosimo-Testa regarding this flag issue in the city of Utica. As a current member of the council, what is this issue and how will you be voting on it?
Yeah, so I think the issue is, I guess it depends who you ask. So from the administration's perspective, I think it's a procedural issue about what the law requires, what the process is for an organization to request a flag raising. But we've been doing flag raisings in the city for years. I mean, I was at City Hall a couple months ago for the Irish flag raising. So we do these flag raisings all the time, and I think we just want to streamline the process. The city of Boston passed a law a few years ago after the case went to the Supreme Court. So, my position was the city of Boston spent all this money on these attorneys, on litigation. Let's use what they have in the city of Boston. So what we did is kind of come up with a hybrid model. The city of Boston does this, kind of incorporate what the mayor of the administration had already been doing with their flag raising policy, kind of just made a hybrid model of both of them. So I will be voting to override the mayor's veto on that because I do want to see a streamlined policy that's on the books in the city.
And you feel that because the mayor will say to you, he's following the Boston model.
Yeah, I think we need legislation, though, on the books instead of just a policy that can change at any time. And I think that's the way government should work generally. I mean, we're on the legislative body in the city of Utica. We're lawmakers. So when we have these issues, we want to create a law, run it by the public, allow people to speak at public comment, which a lot of people did speak on this at public comment, and then pass a law that is common sense. It makes sense. It's on the books. No one's wondering what the policy is. Has it changed? They could just go to the city code, look at what the law is, follow the process, and submit their paperwork.
Full disclosure, I handled Joe's media for his campaign, Manaski.
This is, at least by some, been portrayed that either the mayor or the city of Utica is against LGBTQ+, or this is solely about the pride flag. Do you fall on that side of the argument?
So what I'll say is I'll just look at this objectively and say, so when the council passed the flag raising policy, we simultaneously passed a piece of legislation recognizing June as Pride Month in the city of Utica. That passed. That was not vetoed by the mayor.
Okay. So you won't come out and say that he's not, I guess, against the pride issue, but you do note that he didn't specifically veto that piece of legislation.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything that would indicate that. I think if he were against that issue, he likely would have vetoed that piece of legislation.
Yeah.
He didn't veto it. So June is Pride Month in the city of Utica. It's recognized as Pride Month in the city of Utica, and that's what we have.
And also, I think it's important to note that the mayor has been flying a pride flag outside his office window which I wonder legally where that ends up. If somebody could say, well, I'd like my flag flown outside the mayor's window on public property. I do wonder if that opens its own can of worms, but I think that the mayor has shown that he certainly supports LGBTQ plus, if I got them all in there, issues.
Joe, I want to ask you about the state budget. It was almost 2 months late. Obviously, Democrats control the Assembly, the Senate, and the governor's seat as well. What do you see as some of the issues that led to the late budget, and where do you fall on them as far as the more controversial ones? The electrical grid, some of the green. Why can't I think of the word green?
Green energy?
Yeah, green energy legislation.
Okay, so I think the issue of the late budget comes down to one thing, and that's policy. Policy being inside of the budget. The budget's a financial document. We should be looking at dollars and cents, where money's being spent, not creating major legislation, trying to push that through the budget. Because, and look, it's not something specific with this current governor. Governors in the past have done the same thing. They submit a budget to the legislature. It has major policy inside of it. And now for the next several months, we see legislative bodies working through this major legislation instead of solely looking at the numbers and where the tax dollars are going. So as a solution to that, there's been some conversation about a constitutional amendment, tightening up the ability for the governor to send down a budget with this major policy inside of it and really expand the powers of the legislative bodies, the Assembly and the Senate, to address these issues. Your second question about the green energy piece, I think the most glaring issue that we see up here is the electric school bus mandate, which was rolled back in time. I think back to high school days, hockey tournaments. There'd be days that we'd go out to Rochester in the middle of winter. We'd drive out 2 hours, bus would stay there for the games, and then we'd drive back a few hours. I don't see how it would be possible for electric school buses to do that. That's just one example, not to mention all the rural school districts up here in our communities where the funding, we need to get the funding from somewhere to do that. So I see that as a major issue up here. It's not New York City where, an entire school district is within a 4 or 5 block radius. We have school districts that span miles and miles here. So I don't see that as feasible for our area up here.
And then I wanted to ask you where you are as an attorney, and then where you would be as in the Assembly when it comes to the bail reform issues that, you hear from the DA, you hear from Sheriff Mashel, saying that the current revisions to bail have really tied the hands of judges and district attorneys and law enforcement. Where do you stand?
Yeah, my view on bail reform is actually pretty straightforward. I agree with the core goal, someone's freedom before trial. It shouldn't depend on their bank account. We should always try to work toward reducing unfair disparities in the system. And where I have concerns is overly rigid restrictions on judicial discretion. Our city court judges, our county court judges, Supreme Court judges, they're all elected by the public. And part of that is trusting courts to use their experience to assess, to protect public safety, make decisions based on facts in front of them. And I do want to say I think the changes made in 2023 move things in a better direction by restoring some of that discretion. But it's the balance we need to keep working toward. We need fairness under the law while making sure judges have the tools they need to keep our community safe. And judges go through a host of different training on these issues. And really, laws work best when judges have the discretion to respond to real-world situations.
And I think finally, last thing that I would bring up, this has been a very important legislative district for the area, from Roanne DeStito to Anthony Brindisi to Marianne Buttonshaw, and all the improvements that have gone on in the last decade, working along with Senator Griffo, working along with Tony Piceni. Your thoughts on what has been accomplished and how you can make a difference, continue to make a difference, like what has been done currently in the 119th? Yeah,
we've had a lot that's gone. We've gone in the right direction, and I could, speak from the the position of the South Utica councilman. Late last year, we were able to get Val Bialis up and running again, and that was due in part, really in big part, to Assemblywoman Buttonshaw bringing a $2 million grant to Val Bialis to get that up and running. So that's just a small example of what we can bring back to our area on the assembly, because we have all these great things in our cities, in Rome and Utica. We have the infrastructure there. Maybe we need some additional funding to get these things back up and running, but that's part of it, and that's what I'm looking to do. I just want to go out to Albany, fight for our community, bring as much back as possible, so then our local governments, our local communities can decide where that funding goes. And this isn't a top-down approach. We can't just go out to Albany and legislate and expect a one-size-fits-all solution. We need to do our work out in Albany, come back to our areas again so our local communities can decide where that funding is best spent. Because these are the people who live here. We live in these communities. We don't want decisions being made for us from 200 miles away, 100 miles away. We want to be the ones making the decisions, and that's a major platform in the campaign.
Joe Bitar, we appreciate it. Early voting begins on Saturday. Election day, primary election day, is June 23rd, and we wish you the best of luck.
All right, very good. Thank you all again for having me.
Thanks so much. Joe Bitar. Quick break. Come right back. It's 8:32. We'll talk to Sheriff Mashel on yesterday's domestic violence legislation, and also what's going on in Otsego County, as he's been asked to come in and do an independent investigation into whatever is going on down there. And it's been a bit messy, so we'll get into that coming up with Sheriff Mashel on WIBX.
I'm Mike Gentile, and I'm running for Assembly to bring common sense leadership back to Albany. I've spent my whole life in this community, and one thing is clear. People want leaders who show up, who listen, and deliver real results. Families across the 119th District are dealing with rising costs, higher utility bills, and real concerns about the future. They deserve someone who understands what they're going through and will fight for them every single day. Leadership that shows up, listens, and delivers. Vote for Mike Gentile for Assembly. Paid for by Gentile for Assembly.
Hurt in a car, call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
Meet Anthony Constantino, running to represent us in Congress.
First off, you. I see through your game.
Wannabe rapper, wannabe Republican. But he can't rap his way out of reality. He's a lifelong Democrat who helped fund Trump's impeachment. After the George Floyd riots, he called our cops racist and sold Kill the Police stickers. He claims he's America first, but he shipped jobs overseas, even replaced workers with robots. Anthony Constantino, worse than a wannabe. He's a fraud.
And I know just how this ends.
The real conservative in the race? Robert Smullen, a Marine colonel. He fought for our country. Smullen was appointed by President Trump and will fight for the America First agenda. He's the Republican conservative and law enforcement endorsed candidate. On June 23rd, vote Robert Smullen for Congress. Proven patriot, ready to serve.
I'm Robert Smullen, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Robert Smullen for Congress.
You love yard sales, but let's be real. You could spend all weekend driving around and still miss out on amazing finds. Over 100 vendors all in one place. Find antiques, furniture, household items, tools, brand new clothing, kids' clothes, toys, collectibles, hidden gems, and so much more. No driving all over town. Park once, shop, save, and treasure hunt all day long. The world's largest yard sale at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds, June 20th, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Sponsored by the Potting Shed Antiques, Clinton Tractor and Implement Company, and James Mitsubishi.
Is your business the best at what you do? Then you should be a Central New York's Industry Ace. Our Industry Aces are made up of the best businesses in the region, and will help you tell your story to thousands of consumers in the Mohawk Valley. With a combination of on-air and online testimonial commercials, along with targeted social media ads that are guaranteed to reach the consumers you want to be talking to. And best of all, these messages are coming directly from you. Interested in learning more? Contact Megan Powers at 315-768-9500.
Mattress Express, upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer, is giving away prepaid Visa cards up to $1,000 on select king and queen sets, and we beat any locally advertised price on a mattress we carry. Go to mattressexpressny.com.
Albany is broke, and Dan Fusco knows it. Highest energy costs, highest taxes, highest healthcare costs. These issues affect you and your families. And Dan knows it. With 50 years of private business experience, Dan is determined to fix Albany. Vote for someone who has long-term solutions, who will listen and work for you. Vote Dan Fusco on June 23rd.
Paid for by friends of Dan Fusco.
Guarding the inbound pass. Brunson gets it, fires up a three. Shot no good. The tip, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. With 1.2 remaining. Knicks take the lead. And it's 107-106. Bedlam here at the Garden. They can't believe it. That's it. It's over. The greatest comeback in NBA playoff history. The Knicks pull off the miracle comeback and lead it 3-1. Now one win away from a title.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
I don't know, the call, do you believe in miracles? The call, the Giants win the pennant. The Giants win the pennant. I mean, is that one of those moments?
I think it could be. I really do, especially if they go on to win it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Well, there's never been a comeback like that in the finals of the NBA. Wow.
I think you'd be hard-pressed to find another near 30-point comeback victory really in any at any game. They didn't say it was the greatest comeback ever in a game, but it's got to be.
Yeah.
I just don't know how many more were more points. It's just incredible. So happy as a Knicks fan.
You've been complaining about the Knicks since I came here 14 years ago.
Decades.
So, yeah.
It was a year I refused to call them the Knicks. I was calling them New York's basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of lows for the Knicks, but these are the highest of the highs. They just need one more win.
On the line right now is Sheriff Rob Mashel. Sheriff, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. I want to start off. I know you had a big conference yesterday and really brought a lot of people together. We'll get to that coming up in a second. We did receive a release and a statement from Sheriff Devlin in Otsego County. Of course, there was that arrest recently in Herkimer County where one of the deputies was charged with possession of
controlled substance.
I believe that's what it was. Yeah. This, a part of the release yesterday, maintaining public confidence is critical, says the sheriff. So I'll formally request an independent review to ensure complete transparency and accountability moving forward. And then he goes on to say, I have asked Oneida County Sheriff Rob Mashel to begin that process immediately. And what will that entail, Sheriff?
So basically, the sheriff's office.
All right, you're breaking up on us a little bit. Let's try that again.
Let me try full. Is this better?
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yep. Actually, it is. It is. Yeah, you're cutting in and out pretty severely. Let's try it one more time.
All right. How's that? Is that better?
Yep, that's better.
All right. I'm pulled off to the side here. So basically, the sheriff of Otsego County, Rich Devlin, reached out and basically explained they have an internal situation going on there. I don't have a lot of details on it right now, but he asked that if our professional standards unit at our office could come in and basically do an internal investigation for him. This has nothing to do with the criminal side of things. It's nothing to do with any criminal charges or anything like that. It's just an independent look as far as internally, basically an internal investigation into that. So it's not uncommon for one agency to reach out to another to assist with something like this. That way you're getting in a fresh set of eyes who has no connection to anybody, and you're getting thoughts on what's going on here from an outside perspective.
Yeah. Do you in situations like this, do you use your resources at the sheriff's department, or is this just you? And how does all of that work? And does the county get reimbursed?
It would be our professional standards unit. That's the unit in the sheriff's office that handles internal investigations.
Okay.
They would be the ones that doing it. I would not be doing it myself personally. And no, we would not charge them for that. This is something that's done amongst police agencies all across the country from time to time. When you need someone with, like I said, just coming in, not knowing anybody, not having any connections, just to give an outside professional perspective on what's going on here internally.
Okay, and I think what the sheriff's looking for there is because I believe there's a campaign there as well. I think he's running for re-election, just looking for full transparency and going outside that will accomplish that. And then
That's correct.
okay, and then yesterday you really brought together a lot of different public officials, from Senator Griffo to the district attorney. Those in Oneida County and in Herkimer County, the Herkimer County Sheriff, Utica Police Chief, Rome Police Chief, and others all together to talk about this domestic violence legislation that you're asking that the governor sign.
Right. This bill, it's basically a lethality assessment bill. It was passed both by the Senate and the Assembly about a month ago, and it's awaiting the governor's signature to put it into effect. But basically what this does right now, law enforcement agencies across New York State, when they respond to a domestic incident, they're mandated to complete a domestic incident report. We refer to that as the DIR. It's a uniform report. Every law enforcement agency is filling out the same document, whether there's charges filed or not. These documents not only are kept internally at the law enforcement agency, but they're also put into a state repository. And that way you can get a big picture of, domestic violence cases all across the state. And you can also tell when domestic incidents cross jurisdictional lines. But we've taken that one step further here in Oneida County. A few years ago, we established a domestic violence high-risk assessment team. So in addition to the DIR that everybody has to do, we also do a second form, and it has 11 questions on it, and it's called a DALE, and DALE stands for Danger Assessment for Law Enforcement. There's a series of questions that are asked of the domestic violence survivor, and if the person answers yes to 7 questions or more, this gets referred to our domestic violence high-risk assessment team. I could talk a whole hour about that, but basically their job is, that's the law enforcement, prosecutors, service providers, probation, parole, medical services, everybody at the table, reviewing these particular cases that scored high, and their goal is to make sure that everything is being done to protect the survivor, while everything is also being done to fully hold the offender accountable for what they did wrong. So basically what this law does, that was passed recently by the Senate and the Assembly, it takes that lethality assessment that Oneida County and probably 5 or 6 other counties around the state are using and blend it into the domestic incident report. So moving forward, every law enforcement agency in the entire state, while they're doing their domestic incident report, they are also doing a lethality assessment to see how dangerous that case is, and they will be mandated to refer the survivors or victims, whichever term you want to use, to get all the help that they need to keep them safe, and also finding the offender, to hold the offender accountable. This is a bipartisan bill. This doesn't happen very often in Albany. Democrats, Republicans, both in the Senate and the Assembly, voted overwhelmingly to pass this. Once the governor signs it, the Division of Criminal Justice Services will be mandated to redo the domestic incident report, to blend the lethality assessment into that report. Then everybody's doing the same thing moving forward, and our goal is to keep people alive from these domestic cases.
If you watched any of this case on the news or the documentaries, the Gabby Petito case, you've had contact with her dad, who is also asking for the governor to sign this?
Yes, I've got to know Gabby's dad. He actually formed a foundation. He's actually in Florida, but he does come up to New York occasionally. But on a national level, that's a case that got a ton of everyone following it. It's a very sad and tragic case. But there was never a lethality assessment done on those police involved cases involving his daughter. And if there was a lethality assessment done initially and in the incidents that followed, the system would have recognized that she's a person in danger and we need to protect her. That's why he is on a mission to get lethality assessments all across the country. So he couldn't be with us yesterday, but he provided a quote. He also is available for any media interviews. I know he talked to a lot of the local TV stations yesterday via his cell phone. And then on the local level, obviously, Kristen's Fund, they were also at our press conference. Kristen's sister, Gina, was present yesterday, and she spoke. Again, if lethality assessments were done back then, the outcomes could have been or would have been much differently. So everybody came together yesterday. Law enforcement, legislators, service providers, the Y was there. These foundations were there. Again, doesn't matter what political party you are. We need the governor to sign this. We need the governor to sign it ASAP.
When we say making a referral for services, is this as simple as here's a business card, or do you reach out to an agency and then they follow up with the victim? What does that actually entail? And
so
go ahead.
Yep. So here we have a domestic violence unit at the sheriff's office, as the Utica Police also does, and the Rome Police. We also have a YWCA domestic violence advocate stationed right at the sheriff's office, and there's one at Rome Police and there's one at Utica Police. So to answer your question here, Jeff, when a domestic violence incident occurs and a referral is done to the Y, you're seeing that person in person. They're going to immediately start the process of getting services. And the services could be it's a case by case. It's also how much the survivor wants from the system. But they can do as much as providing a complete safety plan, getting them to a safe shelter, helping them move, making sure they have a cell phone, making sure their kids are safe, making sure that they're getting assistance filling out requests when they need orders of protection or family court appearances. There's a ton of things. On a more global thing, and a more global look at this bill will mandate that law enforcement at minimum provide all the numbers and provide the connections to get the person the services. But here we've taken it one step further in Oneida County. We're bringing the services right to your doorstep.
Yeah. Finally, we were talking about this earlier, how in many cases 911 is called, police will arrive, and then the person who is the victim or perceived to be the victim decides they do not want to press charges. What is the process you go by can you override that? We're told that you can. How does that work, and how does it most often work?
So it depends. A lot of times the survivors don't want to become the formal complainant for various reasons. And, if there's children involved or financial issues, things of that sort. But here in New York State, obviously there's mandated arrest on domestic violence cases in certain instances. There is also a whole new path that the district attorney's office is taking and working with law enforcement. We're getting specialized training. So we're trying to base our cases on a theory of making the arrest on evidence-based issues. So, you know what I mean? You want to gather the proper amount of evidence. We're using special cameras now to photograph injuries on the victims, on the survivors, so that the case can become more evidence-based and you rely less on the testimony from the victim so they don't have to do that. So our goal here is to hold offenders accountable and keep our survivors alive.
Okay, Sheriff, we appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Sounds great, guys. Have a good day.
You do the same, Sheriff Rob Mashel. I want to tell you about River Hills Properties. They continue to grow upstate and beyond, and that beyond is the Gulf Coast of Florida, Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island. Maybe you're not the biggest winter fan, so spending time there during the winter months and here when it's beautiful like it really has been the last week or so. It's River Hills Properties, a full team of agents ready to service your situation. If you're looking to buy or you're looking to sell a home, they never use the lockbox here and down there. Your listing agent is there every time the house is shown. It's River Hills Properties in Barneville, Little Falls, in Newport, and now in Rome, and on the Gulf Coast of Florida, Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island. River Hills Properties. Nobody sells homes like River Hills at 315-896-1009. And in studio right now is Celine Castrovilla or Villa? How do I?
Villa, but it's
Villa.
It's Selene is the tricky part. My first name.
Selene. Okay.
Yes.
So I butchered the first name.
No, honestly, I'm so used to it. It doesn't matter.
Well, Selene, good morning, and also in studio, Leslie Rainey from the Daughters of American Revolution. Good morning.
Morning.
We hear your voice often on the radio.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice and tight on these microphones. Let's talk about this America 250, which we're in the midst of right now, and Freedom's Cost, which is your book that you've written.
Yes. Well, I have written, it's my 6th book about the American Revolution, Freedom's Cost.
Okay.
And it stems from my love of George Washington initially. I fell in love with him as an adult. When I was a kid, I was like, this guy's so boring, because they didn't teach you what he really did, the really cool stuff, right? And a friend of mine happened to mention that he was a spy, and George Washington was a spy master, and he ran this Culper spy ring. And I was like, what do you mean he was a spy? And they had an invisible link. And without spying, we would not have won the revolution. We did not have enough men to outfight the British. So George Washington found another way. Think about that, right?
Yeah.
Find another way.
Right. Did he spy when he was with? Because at one point he was with the British.
Yes. No. This was
came
all
afterwards.
This was all because he did not have enough men to outfight the British, and he needed another way, and he decided to outspy them. And he put Benjamin Talmadge in charge, which is the hero of Freedom's Cost. And initially, I read Talmadge's memoir, the memoir of Colonel Benjamin Talmadge, looking for information about the spies.
Yeah.
This was when my first book is called By the Sword. This was about Benjamin Talmadge, specifically at the Battle of Long Island.
Okay.
Because he wrote this amazing memoir, which everyone should read, Colonel Benjamin Talmadge. You can get it for free online. And he was just an untried soldier. He was a teacher, and he went down to the Battle of Long Island, and he realized, oh my gosh, I have to look someone in the eye and shoot them. And he was so upset by that. And I was like, every soldier must feel that. And that's what made me want to write about him. And he talked about Washington was so brilliant. He saved all his men that night. He snuck them across the East River. It's amazing. We need to know all this, Yeah. So I wrote this book specifically about that moment, and Talmadge risked his life to go save his horse. Okay?
There is a new movie that's coming out called Young George Washington.
Oh, I didn't even know.
And look for this. I just saw the trailer. Have you seen it yet?
No.
The movie's not out yet, but
it's on July 3rd.
It's July 3rd.
Premieres, yeah.
So very interesting because they go in. You don't even recognize the character because
he doesn't have the wooden teeth. That's what it is.
You can talk about that.
It was a myth. Yeah,
he was a very. In this case, he's a very young George Washington.
Wow.
The wooden teeth thing is not real.
No, they were a bone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
were they? Okay.
Very good. Wow.
Well, all I can say is that Benjamin Talmadge is someone we should all know. And when I wrote By the Sword, it was specifically about that. He didn't really talk about the spying at all because it was not a good thing to be a spy back then. It was kind of dishonorable, they thought. So he protected them. But then I decided to tell his entire story because he was best friends with Nathan Hale, who was killed, and he wanted revenge. So I told the whole story.
You're tonight at 5:30 at the Utica Public Library.
Yes.
And you'll do some reading, and people will be able to. Can they get the book
of course
tonight as well?
Yeah.
The book's available everywhere.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, Amazon is the way to go these days, right?
And then,
I love bookstores, though.
Yes. And then Leslie, so much going on. I unfortunately have like a minute for you, but so much happening here right now.
Amen. I'm promoting Flag Day today.
Yeah.
That's on the 14th.
This weekend.
Yeah, this weekend. So fly your flag, fly it proudly. But the interesting flag fact that I found is I just had to put two and two together was when they signed the Declaration of Independence, which we're going to celebrate on July 4th, the official flag, the Betsy Ross flag, had not been designed and approved yet till a year later.
Yeah.
So June 2014, 2027, next year will be the 250th flag. So I found that to be interesting. But the official flag was called, it had 5 names. It was called the Continental Union, Continental Colors, Cambridge flag, Congress flag, the First Navy ensign, because John Paul Jones first flew it aboard the naval ship on December 3rd, 1775, the USS Alfred, in a Grand Union flag. So what we're doing to celebrate it, we're giving out flag certificates. So you guys get one.
Okay.
And I'm giving you this flag.
That is very, very nice.
Oh, that's really cool.
That's awesome. Oh, and it plays audio as well.
It plays like 5 different songs.
Yes.
And it waves.
Yeah, it waves in the breeze.
Thank you guys for everything you do to promote America 250.
And we appreciate all your public service announcements that are running. And tonight, 5:30, Utica Public Library. Thank you.
Oh, thank you
for
for having
writing
me.
about George Washington. It's,
the interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And tomorrow night at the Rome Historical Society at 5:30.
All right,
She'll
great.
be speaking
Thank
again.
you. Thank you so
for
much.
having me.
I want to bring in Chief White House Correspondent John Decker, who's with Great TV and was in the Oval Office and saw a lot yesterday. John, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, Bill. Hope you're doing well. One of the questions I asked the president yesterday in the Oval Office made a lot of news. It went viral, and that has to do with the president's response to my question. I asked him for his reaction to the latest inflation report, which came out Wednesday morning.
This is your question, and what everyone has been talking about over the last 24 hours.
Yeah, the president responded, "I love inflation." And that, of course, has gone viral. And as you can imagine, Democrats are pretty gleeful. They say they're going to use that clip over and over again in commercials leading up to the midterm elections.
Yeah. Was he saying, in fairness, what was he trying to say? Was he trying to say something differently?
He was trying to say, I love cholesterol.
He tried to clean it up a little bit later.
Cholesterol.
Yes. Go ahead.
He tried to clean it up a little bit later. He did an interview with the New York Post, and he said he was trying to say that, I like the number that came out because it's a lot better than it could have been.
Yeah.
And that's not what came out of his mouth, and that's why it drew so much attention.
Mm-hmm.
And in the moment, I'm thinking to myself, this is going to go viral when the president said that.
And sometimes I think it's a slip up. Other times I almost feel like he says it knowing that he's saying something that's going to go viral in a negative way. I find that fascinating. We keep hearing it's over. If you listen to Fox News, this Fox News channel this week, they are beginning to say, we keep hearing it's over. It's not over. There seems to be no end in sight. And the message coming from President Trump just is not factual right now and regarding Iran. Your thoughts?
Well, that's right. What we've seen in the past 48 hours is a resumption of military operations against Iran. So it seems like efforts to end this war through diplomacy are not, being pursued. And the president, says that he was very angered by that drone strike on that American Apache helicopter. Fortunately, the 2 service members who were on board that Apache are okay. But that essentially broke the ceasefire that had existed between the United States and Iran.
And then finally, you've been there. You've seen it. I've seen your pictures. The UFC event this weekend. Your thoughts? Does it look beautiful? Does it add to the beauty of the White House property?
Bill, that's all in the eye of the beholder. I was just out there getting a preview of it, and I'll actually be at the UFC event on Sunday. I was invited to be a part of the press pool, so I'll see it firsthand. We can talk more about it next week.
John, as always, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a great week.
Thank you.
All right.
You too.
John Decker, who asked the question about the inflation. Wow. There he is, Chief White House Correspondent with Great TV. That's it for us. Davey, thank you. Manaski, we're back tomorrow morning.
Yes, sir.
Enjoy your day.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 From the WB Tain Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
The U.S. will be hitting Iran very hard tonight again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump just posted that on Truth Social a short time ago and then tells Fox
they have no defense. They can't do anything about it.
Saying Iran is decimated.
They're dying to make a deal. They want to make a deal so badly.
Now, the president also wrote in his post he wants to take Iran's Karg Island and their oil infrastructure, but he also tells Fox,
I don't know that America has the stomach for it, to be honest with you. You're going to make a fortune, but I don't know that America has the stomach. I think they'd like to see us come home.
Now, the president also says for the second night in a row, the U.S. hit Iran very hard.
Rather than trying to force the Iranians into a deal that they've been unwilling to make so far, the president is now targeting these critical